The lead singer of the Cars, Ric Ocasek, dead at the age of 75 after being found unconscious and unresponsive in his townhouse in Manhattan by his ex-wife, or estranged wife, it says here. I don't think they were divorced, Paulina Porizkova. She found him at 4:14 p.m. He was pronounced dead at the scene and appeared to have died from natural causes. NYPD spokesperson told the Daily Mail that Ocasek was 75 years old at the time he died, but other reports have suggested he was 70. Ocasek and the band The Cars were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in April of last year. And the song that everyone, well, the three articles I read about it mentions is My Best Friend's Girl.
Yeah.
Used to
That
be
must
mine.
have been the biggest hit, I guess. My favorite was always Shake It Up. That's the one I like the best. So Ric Ocasek. I always heard it was Ocasek, but then I was reading the New York Times, and they took great pains to say it's Ocasek.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because his real name is
Ocasawitchy or Ocasawitch or something like that.
Ocasek. And if you see it...
How is that spelled?
O-T-C-A, Ocasek. So if you see it it looks like, well, yeah, it should be.
A Slavic name of some
Yes.
sort? Now, this is the one they all mention.
Maybe it was their first big hit. Maybe that.
Oh.
It's a clapping song.
Always dancing down the street with your sway blue eyes.
Oh, wait. Here's another article that says they're best known for their song Drive.
Well, they're...
Which was not sung by Rick.
Feel surprised.
That was Benjamin Orr.
Here she comes again when she's dancing beneath the
Oh,
starry
this is a
sky.
good one.
She'll make you feel. Here she comes again when she's dancing.
I was reading Twitter this weekend. I think it was Frank Conniff. He put it perfectly. He said they crafted absolutely perfect pop songs.
Yep. Said a lot of the things I read said that they took they reacted to the punk sensibility, and the songs had punk sensibility, but then they made them. It's kind of like what Green Day does, the same thing.
They were at a catchy song.
Green Day has this really punky attitude about everything, but damn, they're catchy melodies and sometimes really lovely melodies.
And they came at a time, and their sound is so unique that they didn't really fit a category. You could put them in several categories.
You could put them in punk, you could put them in rock, you
in
could
what
put 'em
was
in
considered
pop,
alternative at the
yeah.
time, yeah.
Pretty short, 6 albums, 1978 to 1987. That's it. 13 top 40 singles.
This one's my favorite, but this is Benjamin Orr.
Oh yeah, that's right. This one.
He dead too.
He did too. Oh, here's one.
I know tonight.
How many are in there?
Well, yeah, that's the fun thing about the way this system is put together.
Is it Cars or The Cars?
Some program directors have put it in under The Cars, and some have put it under just Cars.
The proper way is The Cars.
You know, so I'd have to go through 2 different categories to count them. But for just Cars, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, easily 14. You know.
Sure, it's not The Cars.
It's
Well,
The.
I'm looking under just Cars right now.
Yeah.
I'll look under the Cars coming up here.
You know, I heard somebody on, just to immediately change the subject, on sports the other day say, and I didn't realize it when we talked about Ohio State wanting to,
The Ohio State.
they wanted to trademark the. I didn't realize that sportscasters actually refer to Ohio State, because I always just say Ohio State. But when you hear a sportscaster
Yeah.
talk about them, a sportscaster says the Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's really stupid.
They do that?
Yes. I think Ohio State insists on it.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it's dumb.
That's who they are. You want to take that up with your attorney?
Yeah.
I think he'd have something to
this
say
would be
about
one of our few areas of disagreement. And I hope, and to me, it's a minor disagreement, but I don't know.
No, I think
he may want to make a big thing about it.
I'm sorry, we can't be associated
We can't
anymore.
be friends anymore.
Now, see, under the cars,
It's there, really,
yeah,
or more.
I've got 4 hits. So yeah, they did pretty well.
It wouldn't take too much to just fix that, would it?
It would not.
It would take initiative.
It'd take somebody to go in and look at the computer and go, oh, okay, I'll just recopy these over here and delete that
Yeah,
one.
no.
Somebody would have to give an S, and that's the problem. Yeah.
Always, in most situations.
Give me an S. Give me an H. Well, okay.
All right.
Anyway, Ric
So that's,
Ocasek.
but like people have brought up, we've had 2 in a couple of days.
That's true.
So
Rock and roll royalty, Eddie Money.
Eddie Money.
Ric Ocasek.
So who's going to be the third one?
Oh, I don't believe in that.
I have Meatloaf on my Deadpool.
Well, that's a wish list.
Hey,
I'm just
hey,
I'm just
I'm a
saying.
Meatloaf fan.
I'm just saying if we're going
Don't
for
be a
another
loafist.
a
You're a
loafist?
loafist.
You're such a huge fan, you can name 4 songs right now, can't you?
I don't even know if I can name 4. Yeah, Meatloaf.
Meat.
All right, let's officially begin the show, shall we? 877-602-9696. That's our phone number. You can call us and check in. That just kind of gives us an idea that we're, that you're ready to go, that you're juiced, that you're up and you're kicking and you want to hear a show and you want it to be good. Because if we don't get calls to check in, then we'll just coast. And a random caller, a random checker-inner will receive a Radio from Hell tote bag. You can also text in 33986 to check in, but you won't get a tote bag because we just won't do that. But here's the question when you check in. When you, where do you go when you want to show a date how romantic you are? Where would you go to show a date how romantic you are? I want the wrong answer only.
Okay.
Wrong answer only to where would you go to show a date how romantic you are. 877-602-9696. And we'll take your check-ins and start the show officially when we get back from all of this.
All right.
September is National Hispanic Heritage Month. Join X90.
$6.20.
Yeah, do that. 877-602-9696 or 33986 and check in with the Radio from Hell show this morning. A random caller will get a Radio from Hell tote bag, and the question is, where will you go when you want to show a date how romantic you are? Wrong answer only. And now let's officially begin the show, shall we?
Brought to you by Be Prepared for Your Day. Watch 2 News this morning on KUTV2 from 4:30 to 7 a.m.
The moon, 95.0. 95% of full. That's what it is, 95%. It is a waxing moon. The moon will set today at 8:20 a.m. Excuse me, 9:20 a.m. Today being Monday. It's the 18th. No, it's not. It's the 16th. My eyes aren't working very well today. It's the 16th day of September in the year of our Lord 2019. And you're listening to the morning show that's just waiting for confirmation, but in the meantime, we are locked and loaded. We are the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Locked Kerry Jackson, Loaded Bill Allred, and Locked and Loaded Gina Barberi.
Both.
Yes, both. She's got both guns ablazing if need be. Katie, for short, is producing the show. I don't know who's in there.
I believe it's Miriam.
Miriam, I saw.
And
that's right.
Punchy intern.
Okay, there we go. Now let's go to check-ins at 877-602-9696.
All right, let's begin with Derek.
Hi, Derek.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Derek. Hi.
Little hoarse this morning.
Why is that?
Just getting over some cold.
Of course, a little horse is a pony, but I'm sorry. Derek, if you want.
Where would you take a date for a romantic evening, Derek?
Wrong answer.
Well, I always thought it would be nice to take her to my work, and I work at the wastewater treatment plant.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Which treatment plant do you work at, Derek?
Just the one up in Salt Lake.
It's you go by those and they attempt to perfume them. Do you run some sort of perfume through that?
Not perfume, but other stuff.
Yeah, and
It's Febreze.
and it just smells awful. They try to make it seem nicer, but it just isn't. Derek, that's a hard job you do. Would you like a tote bag?
Sure.
Okay, hang on the line.
Hang
Derek.
on. All right, get your information. Let's go to Braden.
Hi, Braden.
Hello, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Morning, Braden. What are you doing?
Talking to you guys on your show.
Okay, that's great. That's absolutely great.
All right.
Braden, where would you take a date to if you want to show her how romantic, or him, how romantic you are? Wrong answer only.
The bathroom, but not just any bathroom, the bathroom at my parents' house.
That is also a good answer.
Well, Derek, I see you've thought this through.
Come on over.
We're going to go to the bathroom at my parents' house and try not to make any noise or they'll get up. All right, thank you, Derek. Or Braden, I'm sorry, Braden, thank you.
All right, let's go to Ann. Hello, Ann.
Hello.
And now, Ann, what are you doing this morning?
Riding the train to work right now.
Oh. Yeah, you're on tracks or front runner?
Tracks.
And you're coming from the south to the north?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, have a good day at work.
And thank you for taking us with you on the train.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You get a good signal. Your phone is nice and clear on the train. That's for sure.
Definitely.
You can hear us pretty well.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, Ann. Where would you take a date to show the date how romantic you are? Wrong answer only.
McDonald's.
Well, I don't know.
You want to go to McDonald's on a date, Bill?
No.
A romantic. I'm
No.
not saying you shouldn't go to
Yeah.
McDonald's. I'm just saying, is it a romantic place to go?
It's not a romantic place. What would be the right answer to that, Ann? What would be the right answer? Where would you want to go on a romantic date?
Market Street Grill, the one at the Cottonwood location.
Oh, that's
right by
very
the river.
specific. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You sit out by the river. Yeah.
You can walk across that swinging bridge and
It is nice.
and talk about the future.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Ann.
All right,
Thank
Ann.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our attorney Wade Taylor weighing in. The gas station diner screams romance.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The gas station.
The gas station diner. Costco for samples.
Yeah.
I know someone this has happened to. They said.
Oh,
That might be kind of a silly kind
be
of
a silly date, not a
silly
romantic.
kind of thing to do. Let's do this.
All right, Dusty texts, my wife of 33 years, we went to the movie Commando. Now, my question is,
Yes, I know what your question is.
was it the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, or did you
Or-
just not wear your underwear?
Because one of those is romantic.
They're both we went to Commando.
Blood Sausage Factory. Thanks, Josh. Tim the Tree Guy, tour the sewer plant. Oh, here's, I think, the definitive answer. The Reams meat freezer. I think.
We have all kinds of frozen meat at Reeves. Yeah. I think it sounds like somebody's been there.
Have you been to the meat freezer at Reams?
Got one more call there.
Okay, let's go to Dawn. Hello, Dawn.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Dawn. How are you today?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
Good. Okay, Dawn.
You were distracted for a minute,
They,
Don.
they said they weren't going to have time to put me on. That was surprising.
Oh,
Well, real quickly, Dawn. Date, romantic date. Wrong answer only.
Okay, well, I wanted to thank you, first of all, for Saturday for the walk. That was great.
You're welcome.
And,
Dawn. Nice to see you.
So
there.
afterwards, I went up to my favorite, I hate to say it, but jump-off place. So it's up in City Creek Canyon, and it's a big old Cleachy rock, and you have to hike up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would take her up there and make her have to
Okay.
climb up there in her
All right.
sandals
Okay.
like I do.
Okay.
All right, Dawn.
All right, Dawn.
Dawn, you take her to the ledge, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. And
Bye-bye, Dawn.
thanks for checking in.
And not jump off.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
just
good.
enjoy the
Bye-bye,
view.
Dawn.
Good.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
Dawn. All righty.
Enjoy the view.
Yes.
Dawn is a very nice man. I spend a lot of time with him on Saturday.
Let's see if you're spending time in traffic right now. So far, so good. I see green cameras all up and down the Wasatch Front. What do you see, huh? Here's how you tell us. You text it to us, 33986, if you see a traffic incident you'd like to share with other friends of the program, but you're not actually driving, because that would be dumb. Savor every moment at the Melting Pot in Salt Lake. Come experience the Melting Pot before or after your favorite show or game. TheMeltingPotSaltLakeCity.com.
All right, thank you very much. We will take a break. We will be back with Big Boy News, Opinnuendo, Sports with Amy Donaldson, all on the way. And round one of your boners eventually coming up. Stand by. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Brooklinen.com. That's right. Brooklinen.com. And the promo code that you want to use is my last name, Jackson, Jackson, at Brooklinen. Love our Brooklinen sheets. Are just, snuggling down with the dogs when you get the window open in these fall mornings. It's just always nice. Making your home comfy is the ultimate form of self-care, and self-care, I think, is the most important thing. People are loving and recommending Brooklinen.com. They are the winner of the best online bedding category for Good Housekeeping, Business Insider, Apartment Therapy, Men's Health, all rave reviews, luxury sheets, towels, and bedding with and more without the luxury markup. A lot of bedding is marked up as much as 300%. And the sheets just don't feel great, but they look great too. You can mix and match over 20 colors and patterns. My Brooklinen sheets are the most comfortable sheets I've slept on, and their towels have turned my bathroom into a spa. I couldn't recommend them more for friends, family, or treating yourself to the upgrade that you deserve. Brooklinen.com giving an exclusive offer just for our listeners. You'll get 10% off and free shipping when you use the promo code Jackson at brooklinen.com. They are so confident in their product that all of their sheets, comforters, and towels come with a lifetime warranty. But the only way to get 10% off and free shipping is to use the promo code Jackson at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, and the promo code Jackson. These really are the best sheets ever. Right, 6:36, and we got sports with Amy Donaldson coming up. Stand by for that. Right now, big boy news and a pinuendo brought to you by
Scott Hale offering an early bird $29 furnace tune-up special. That's a hail of a deal. Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Call 801-264-HALE.
We got the news here. Dawn mentioned the walk on Saturday. It was really terrific. Thank you to everybody who came to the Out of the Darkness walk on Saturday. There were 3,000 people walked up and registered the day of.
Walked up?
Yes, 3,000.
So how many total were there?
Just short of 8,000.
Wow.
Yeah, they're moving it next year.
I was going to say, where
a bigger
is
place? It's
what's bigger than Liberty Park?
I think it's called Veterans Memorial Park or something like that in West Jordan.
Oh, okay.
So that's where it'll be. But a lot of people, just sharing their stories with me, and it was pretty nice. And then Saturday in Ogden, similar. It's not Out of the Darkness. It's a different organization, but another walk in Ogden this Saturday, and I'll be up there. So the weekend box office, It repeats as number one.
How did you love it, Katie? Yeah, she loved it.
Hustlers did pretty well. Apparently it's a crime drama and a kind of a comedy caper involving strippers. And,
based on actual events,
yeah,
Bill.
apparently so. And it outpaced expectations by bringing in $33.23 million. That's $6 million more than anyone had expected. They said, we'll be happy with X amount. They got $6 million more than that. So there you go. Bad Moms is still doing well. Angel has Fallen has been doing well at the box office. I have no idea why. Good Boys. It's that Seth Rogen thing with the foul-mouthed little kids. That's apparently pretty funny and doing well. The Goldfinch,
not so much.
No, nobody likes it, and no good reviews. An interesting movie. Excuse me. I think I know Carrie and I are very interested in seeing it. It won the People's Choice Award at the Toronto International Film Festival. I guess Venice, Cannes, Toronto. Those three film festivals are considered very important. They kind of kick off the movie year. The Sundance Film Festival, it's a different sort of thing. Yeah. But these are the commercial films, and it's Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit won the audience or the People's Choice Award. This is a comedy about Hitler, and Taika Waititi plays Hitler. Oh, there's a still from it at x96.com/live. It's about a young boy and his relationship with Adolf Hitler.
Well, it's imaginary friend.
His imaginary friend,
that's right.
Adolf Hitler.
That's right. It's his imaginary friend, Adolf Hitler, which is funny if you think about it. And it'll be interesting to see what he does with it. He's got really good, funny people. Stephen Merchant is in it. And he's hilarious. And so it'll be interesting to see when the movie finally comes out. I'm wondering if that'll be in wide release or will it be a Broadway?
I'm sure it'll be at the Broadway.
You think?
I would think, yeah.
All right. And just one other little celebrity and entertainment note, Felicity Huffman. She got sentenced on Saturday, or was it Friday? Friday, I think.
Friday.
14 days in jail.
That's
she was
barely any...
She was charged with bribing admissions officials to get her daughter's admissions application boosted with fraudulent SAT scores, allegedly paying $15,000 to have a college counselor to fix incorrect answers on her oldest daughter's SAT scores in 2017. According to TMZ, she will serve a fortnight in jail, that 14 days. It's the British press here, for her involvement in the scandal. So she did all the right things, though. She was very remorseful.
Pleaded guilty.
Part of the reason she did that, I think, and that's the reason her husband has not been charged with anything.
She's taken the fall.
Because they said there were reports certainly that he was in the room, that he took a couple of phone calls. He knew all about it. He participated in it, but I'm guessing that she immediately did the guilty plea at the very beginning, which she did almost immediately, because they said, there are people around you that are going to be charged too. Now, maybe if you take a plea, we won't do that. And she did it to get her husband off, William H. Macy. One other thing that I thought was interesting, too, about it is that she's so disappointed in herself, she says, but she said the hardest thing is my daughter came to me and said, I'm disappointed. You didn't trust me. You didn't believe in me. You didn't think I could do what I can do, and I felt, and that, she said, that made me feel just horrible. 7 teenagers were held for questioning by police on Friday after authorities say they were involved in an altercation that ended with gunshots, no injuries, at a school football game at Granger High School.
Great.
According to school and police officials, somebody fired shots likely into the ground as warning shots during a football game at Granger. The incident happened on campus, but not near the football stadium. Granite School District spokesman Ben Horsley said that the people involved were not students at Granger, as far as he knows, or Hunter High School, the opposing team. He later updated that 5 boys and 2 girls who they believe are from Sandy or Midvale, not like the good kids out here in Granger, they were the ones involved. Horsley said they believe the incident was gang-related, but not a targeted attack. Still, they are unsure as to why the group was there in the first place. No arrests have been made, police continuing to investigate. Utah lawmakers will be going back up to Capitol Hill today to amend the marijuana laws. Among significant changes lawmakers will consider, it's not, this is not in stone, is how and where patients can receive cannabis products. The laws on the books lay out a system of 7 private pharmacies with a large central fill government pharmacy, but problems rose when local leaders said we can't have our, government employees filling marijuana prescriptions because it's a federal crime.
Let's fix it on the federal level.
Well, the Utah State Legislature won't do that.
I know.
Republican Evan Vickers, who's been very involved in planning the amendments, told 2 News on Sunday that his Republican colleagues will vote to nix the large government pharmacy and replace it with additional private pharmacies. House Minority Whip, which means she's a Democrat, Carol Spackman Moss, was a yes vote on Prop 2, the voter-approved initiative that first legalized medical marijuana, and a hard no on the legislature's rewrite. So how's she going to vote? She thought that we should just have gone with Proposition 2 the way it was intended. She said voters were betrayed by their leaders when Proposition 2 was swapped out for the so-called compromise bill. She hopes this week's amendments will help the law more closely resemble the people's original intent. So Senator Mike Lee was in Russia.
Really?
Moscow Mike. We talked about it last week. Having talks with Russian leaders, and how did all that go? Well, he said that he and the oligarch he spoke with, I guess he's an oligarch, acknowledged that the U.S.-Russian relationship is at a low point. Well, there's progress.
He had to go all the way there to talk about that?
And talks between legislative leaders are difficult because some are precluded from traveling to each other's countries. Despite the chilly relations, Lee said he and Mr. Kosachev agreed that they can still have an open conversation. I pointed out to him that I'm here, Lee said. That's a start.
What? I'm unclear why this happened.
Yeah. Well, just start watching Mike now that he's come back from Russia, and they've shown him everything they've got on him. He'll start cooperating a lot more and trying to get those sanctions lifted and all that. You watch.
My wife sent a letter to Mike Lee and other representatives about guns after the El Paso shooting, and she's only received a response from Mike Lee, and he said in the letter, "Dear Mrs. Bill, thank you for reaching out with your thoughts on gun rights and background checks. Communication between lawmakers and citizens is vital to the legislative process.
Form letter.
Your input and participation helps create a better future for our nation. I take all forms of violence, including gun violence, but all forms of violence.
That way I can put video games in there.
There's bad violence on all sides here, very seriously. The first thing we need to do is ensure that our current laws, the ones that are already on the books,
we already
including those requiring background checks, are being obeyed and enforced. With respect to background checks, although there is a federal database, it is the responsibility of the states to submit information to the database on persons barred from possessing a firearm. Background checks are only effective when the database is up to date and accurate. And regarding access to firearms, there are two issues. The first problem arises when someone acquires a gun illegally. Restricting the rights of law-abiding citizens will not stop criminals from breaking those same laws.
People are going to speed in their cars, whether there's a speed limit or not. So why have a speed limit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No speed limit.
Yeah.
You know,
People are gonna
kids are
break
gonna
that
drink.
law
Kids are going to drink at
So
16,
why
17. Why have laws that say you
They're
can't
going to
drink?
do it anyway.
Oh, Amy Donaldson, I think, would
I'm
like to
gonna
weigh
add,
in on
I'm
that.
just going to add that I think you should not be allowed to make any new laws about vaping or vape flavors.
Exactly.
Until you can prove that every law on the books is being enforced 100%.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
Thank you, Amy.
New rule.
Speaking of Amy Donaldson, by the way, we might go to war with Iran finally. I don't understand, though, why we're threatening war with Iran if indeed they are the ones who bombed the oil fields in Saudi Arabia. I believe Saudi Arabia has an air force.
They do.
And lots of pilots.
They do.
And lots of weapons.
I think they have
Why
nukes.
do we have to go to war
You sound
with
like
Iran?
Donald Trump, Bill.
Actually, he
no,
doesn't.
I don't. Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
No, Donald Trump
He's
says
the opposite. He says, "What do you want me to
He's-
do for you, Saudi Arabia?"
Donald Trump is saying,
Yeah.
listen here, Iran, the United States is locked and loaded, and you're not going to get away with this. That's what Donald Trump is saying.
At least that's what he said on Twitter.
I sound
No.
nothing like Donald
Now, a
Trump.
few years ago, Trump did, in fact, say on Twitter,
Yes, he did.
why doesn't Saudi Arabia pay the United States to go to wars for them and all that, and that we shouldn't be. That
Why
was
are we
but
fighting
that-
people's
But
wars?
that's not
for?
what he said
But he's not
last
saying it
night
now.
and yesterday.
Well, I stopped following him on Twitter.
So,
or reading any of the news accounts about it, apparently. All right, that's the news. Oh, Amy had a story today. I didn't get a chance to read it. Should we just segue into sports here?
weather traffic.
Yeah, and then we'll...
Windy today. Very windy later. It might even have a thunderstorm after that. But yeah, we could get gusts up to 50 miles an hour later this afternoon into the evening. And warm, 87. But this is probably our last really, really warm day. We'll dip down into the 70s and 60s. Katie's doing a happy dance based on that. And traffic, a little bit of slowage northbound I-15 through Draper and Sandy, but that's it. I see no accidents to tell you about. Oh, wait, here it is. No, that's an old one. Never mind, we're good. Things look good. If you see something you want to share it, you can text it to us, 33986. Scott Hale offering early bird $29 furnace tune-up special. That's a hail of a deal. Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Call 801-264-HALE.
And now,
Sports brought to us by him.
No.
Oh, okay.
well then,
Amy Donaldson Sports. Break.
here she is, Amy Donaldson, to do some sports reporting. And now I didn't have a chance to read this, but I read the headline, and I'll tell you what my reaction was to your story in the Deseret News today.
I don't know which story it
Well,
is.
it says, for the first time in 30 years, numbers declined for high school sports. Should schools be worried? And in my mind, I said, why should they be worried? What? Don't worry about it. Just start phasing them out.
Oh, I don't think that's the answer either. I think, I think there is a real transition. There, 30 years ago, club sports, they were actually protecting club and church sports from high school. The high schools coming in and sandbagging. Now it's the opposite. Now you have them protecting high schools from club, the impact of club sports on high school sports. So, and there's just more options. I think the bottom line is there's just a lot of things to choose from now, which is great for kids. And, I think there is a trend to specialize, which every single coach worth anything says don't do. Every doctor I talk to says don't do. But parents do it because it gives your kid an advantage in the short term. So if you want him to start for high school.
As long as I can get Muhammad, as long as he has time to do everything, I want him to do.
Well, there are seasons. That's
Yeah.
the problem. People want to do stuff year round. And I say there are seasons. Pick a different, I just listened to an amazing podcast from a gentleman who wrote a book about that it's late bloomers and people who generalize and experiment and try all these different things that actually, move us forward.
Who was it?
When I was in high school, it was like the big athletes in school were they were on the football team, and then they were on the basketball team, and then they played baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. They were stars in all sports.
I was lousy, and I did the same thing. I just rode the bench on all the sports.
Who's the tennis star that's featured in that book who said he played everything until he was like middle of...
I want to say it's Federer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said, I didn't even pick tennis till I was much, much older. I
think
played
he was
everything.
in his teens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think people are like, I have to pick my kid's career by 10,
No.
And athletically, what you're doing is you're ensuring that they're going to burn out. But yeah, they said those prodigies, even like the Tiger Woods, they said his dad was responding to him. He just loved golf. He wanted to go. It was not.
But you talk to Andre Agassi, who says
was pushed.
He was
his
pushed.
dad pushed him, pushed him,
and he's used as an example in the book of the bad parenting.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, we probably ought to get to the sports.
to the real sports, but that's sports. That's that feeds all this, especially college football, which was a good weekend in college football in some regards. Those asking for calling for Kalani Sitake's job down at BYU probably are feeling differently. BYU beat number 24 USC 30-27 in overtime.
Now, I'm going to sound like a negative person here about that. Isn't USC struggling a little bit because they started the season with a quarterback that they were really counting on, and he was knocked out for the season in the first game? Do I know that right?
But they have so many athletes and so much depth. They're a good
Shouldn't have
team,
mattered.
and it's going to be a tall order when they play Utah. Utah should win that game, and they should win it without going to overtime. They should win it without a ton of struggle, but Utah likes to struggle, so we'll see what happens. And Utah beat Idaho State 31-0. Zach Moss, he had a 106-yard performance. That moves him to second place in the all-time rushing leaders. He only needs 196 yards to become number one.
Did anybody feel a little bad for Idaho?
I was going to say.
A little bad.
No.
I just felt a little bad.
No, they get paid money to come here,
they
Bill.
got,
that's
they
true.
got to come to Salt Lake.
Oh, okay.
So they got money for their program, and that will help them. So that's why they do it, right? Beat me up. And by the way, another Pac-12 team is coming to Provo Saturday, Washington. They're going to play BYU on Saturday. So, while Utah plays USC in LA. So
how did Utah State do?
Utah State had a bye. Okay. They will play at undefeated San Diego State on Saturday.
And I think Weber lost.
Weber lost to Nevada, and they're now 1-2.
And I think Southern Utah State is going to get rid of their football program.
Southern Utah they won.
They did.
They beat Stephen F. Austin 45-38 in overtime.
It's a business school.
It was a very exciting game.
And there's one guy on the team. His name is Stephen F. Austin.
No, they're good.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, they're good. So,
okay.
But number 6 Ohio State, they beat football powerhouse Indiana.
Now, see, you didn't say the Ohio State
because it's not been copyrighted. I can't say it. I don't want to get sued, Bill. But anyway, they beat the football powerhouse Indiana 51-10. Let's see. Rudy Gobert. He led France past Joe Ingles and the Boomers in the FIBA World Cup tournament.
I have no idea what you
third
just said.
place.
Basketball.
Okay.
Well,
They're
you know
jazz
who Rudy
players.
Gobert is. Yeah.
Jazz players that go play for the countries they came from, Bill.
Yeah. So they played against each other for their respective countries. And Rudy Gobert, he actually didn't play that much. I think he had like 2 points in the game. But Joe Ingles led the Boomers, and they lost. So Ricky Rubio, who used to play for the Jazz, he led Spain to a championship and was the MVP of the tournament.
Isn't the United States supposed to dominate these?
No, they did
not.
terrible.
We didn't.
I know,
a
but
lot of
aren't
the
they
veterans
supposed to?
didn't play. So yeah, but they're not playing for the even the consolation bracket. So Real Salt Lake, they defeated San Jose on Wednesday, but then they suffered a 3-1 loss to Minnesota on Sunday. They're now in 4th place in the West. Next up, they have New England on Saturday. Utah Royals lost to the Houston Dash on Friday the 13th, 2-1. Now they're tied for 4th for that final playoff spot against the Tacoma Rain.
Are you suggesting that they lost because it was Friday the 13th?
No, just I thought it was fun that they played on Friday the 13th.
All right.
So, let's see. The Real Monarchs, they beat the Portland Timber 2, 5-1. Next up are the Sounders 2 on Tuesday. They're in 6th place in the West. In the English Premier League, this is a tip of the hat to very important sports. Last year's champion, Manchester City, lost 3-2 to the newly promoted Norwich, which means they didn't even play in the Premier League last year. So the team that didn't even play last year beat the defending champion. The standings now are Liverpool, Manchester City, Tottenham, and Manchester United. My husband only went to number 4 because that's where his team sits.
That just goes to show you how fickle lady sports is.
No, I should say also, great sports at the Utah State Fair. It was a sporting event to get through there. The State Fair.
Oh.
Yeah. To get through there and not commit a crime.
What?
Theft or beating someone up or... No, it was actually really fun.
Oh.
Bill, you love the
$42
fair.
for chicken strips and fries.
I do love the fair. I haven't been in several years, but I do.
We should go together. Be more fun. Next year.
Thank you, Amy.
Emergency crews blocking the left lane I-15 southbound at 7 South in Clearfield. Traffic is back to 5600 South in Roy, but that's the only accident being reported. Friends of the program. Oh no, friend of the program just sent this in. Thank you though. Crash 33rd South, left-hand side, northbound I-15. If you see something like that and it's safe for you to text, you can do that at 33986.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Round 1 of your boners, big boy news, all coming up. Stand by. Gina, ThirdLove.
My bra?
Your bra. People get upset when I say, Gina, talk about your bra.
I don't know why, because I sing its praises, and I have people ask me, okay, is that bra really that good? Yes, it's really that good. It's really that comfortable. You know when you have a bra that you guys don't, but and your straps fall down and Amy, all day you're pulling up the straps, and it says, you know what I don't have to do with the ThirdLove bra? Mess with the straps. They don't slip. Tagless labels, no itching. How do you start with ThirdLove? You go to thirdlove.com/Gina, Gina. That'll get you 15% off your first order. And then when you're there, you take the Fit Finder quiz. It's going to help you get one of 70 sizes, including their signature half cup sizes. That's going to help it fit so much better for you. Go check it out. Take the quiz. It just takes a couple of minutes, and you'll be well on your way to having a very comfortable bra. So, thirdlove.com/Gina. That's Gina to find your perfect fitting bra today.
Technology.
Just quickly.
6.
Quickly.
Yes. Okay.
A bunch of people have sent in texts saying I-15 southbound just before 53rd South. They're closing all but the 2 left lanes. Traffic stopped. Someone lost a load of concrete
That's a lot of stuff.
onto the freeway. Southbound I-15 just after 45th South in Salt Lake. Several bags of either sand or concrete mix in the middle of the road. It says stay to the left to avoid accidents waiting to happen there. So thank you for sending that in, friends of the program, at 33986.
I was not going to go to the liquor store on Friday. And then I changed my
Bill,
mind at the last minute, and I'm glad I did.
It's a day. Why wouldn't you go?
I'm glad I did. I changed my mind, and I went to the liquor store in the Avenues. And as I approached the liquor store, there at the front door of the liquor store, sitting on either side of the door, I could see from a distance, were 2 older men, and it was the Lions Club. It was, and I went, I wonder if it's my friend Hank. Sure enough, I walk up. It's Hank Bertram from the Lions Club, and it's their annual fundraiser. So I met Hank, and had a long conversation with him, probably almost exactly a year ago at the liquor store. Because once a year, the Rose Park Lions, they do a fundraiser called the White Cane fundraising effort, and they raise money to buy eyeglasses for people who need eyeglasses.
Oh, that's nice.
And I walked up, and now a year ago when I walked up, there's one old guy wearing a Lions vest on one side of the door, one on the other side, and they open the door for people, and they say, if you like to contribute to the Lions Club, and for the White Cane, and people will give them some money and everything. But so that's when I met Hank last year, and he's 80. He's 83 this year. And he said, but when I met him last year, he said, "You don't remember me, do you? You're Bill Allred, aren't you?" "Yeah, I listen to your show every day."
Hey, Hank.
I met you out in Stockton, out at a restaurant out in Stockton a number of years ago. And I don't think he really talks like that, but this is, being my old man voice here. And he said, "Yeah, I listen every single day." And he had a big Band-Aid on, a big thing on his finger, a huge Band-Aid. So what'd you do? He says, "I cut my finger off on the table saw."
Hey, ouch.
And
Like you do.
And so this year, there's Hank, and I said, "Hank, let me see that finger." "Yeah, cut off, ain't it?" It's cut off about to the first knuckle.
Yeah, I don't need it anymore.
I said, "Did they try to reattach it?" I remember I said to him last year, "Did they try to reattach it?" And I said, I told him, "Don't bother, I don't need it. It's just a hassle." And so I talked to Hank for a while. And on the other side of the door was Elwin Bergstrom. Elwin is 97 years old.
Wow. Oh, wow.
He's a World War II veteran. And he said, I said, "Bergstrom, that's, what kind of name is that?" He said, "Svenska Pjolka. Svenska Pjolka." I said, "What does that mean?" He says, "Swedish boy. Svenska Pjolka." And so Hank and his sister was there. Hank's sister was there, Lynette Bertram. She listens every day. She said, I listen every day too, Hank." And so Hank
Lynette.
Hank and Lynette, I don't think Elwin listens. He said, "Well, Hank always tells me about you guys."
Oh.
But at any rate, when you give the Lions Club some money, they give you a roll of mints.
Ah.
And I don't know if you remember, but last year I had the mints on the air, and they're really, actually, I'm surprised.
They're good mints?
Really good mints. And Hank said, "I want you to make sure that Carrie gets a roll of mints, and Gina," I gave him $20. "Gina gets a roll of mints," and he said, "Oh, and here, get one to Katie. That shows you I listen, because I know you got a new producer."
That does.
Yeah.
Katie. And so Hank thinks, he said, "I don't think Ellen and we're not your, how would I put it? I'm not your audience."
You are.
I said, "Hank, what you're trying to say is you're out of the demo." He said, you're not our
There
typical.
is no demo. We don't have a demo.
But
all are welcome.
I think that Elwin, if he's listen, he said, "I think I'll try to listen." Elwin's going to try to listen. He would be, he has to be our oldest listener at 97.
At 97, yeah.
You would think.
Yeah.
Now, Hank at 83.
That's
I bet we have a few others.
About that age?
Yeah, I bet we have 2 or 3 or 4 others. Maybe 10. Maybe. But it'd be interesting to know how many people in their 80s listen to the radio from Hellshire.
That would be cool to know.
Yeah. But anyway, here's now, there are 2 peppermint and 1 spearmint. Anybody have or wintergreen and peppermint? Anybody care which roll of mints they got?
I don't think so.
Okay, there you go.
Well, thank you.
And give Carrie and Gina.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And try them. They are
Well,
really.
sure.
They are the Lions Club mints.
Oh, they're like labeled.
They're real. Yeah.
Oh, they're all fancy. Yeah.
Yeah, the official Lions Club label on them and everything.
Lion mints.
But I do this once a year. They sit at the door of the liquor store, at the avenues. I guess they must go other places as
Probably.
well. But anyway, it's nice to see Hank. I said, Hank, we have to stop meeting like this every year. Once a year, I'm going to see Hank at the liquor store, I'm sure. And I think they're there for more than one day. I don't know. They might be there this week. But anyway, I think I'll go back and check.
Make sure they're okay.
Well, and I need more mints.
There you go.
More mints.
Yeah. All right.
I need some
anyway,
mints.
Anyway, nice to see you guys. Thanks for listening.
A spill, they're saying it's either sand or bags of concrete. I-15 southbound approaching 53rd South in Murray. Only the 2 left lanes are open and traffic is backing into South Salt Lake. Heard from several friends of the program who came upon that incident. Thank you for letting us know and texting us 33986. Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest is here. Enjoy classic German beer, food, and music every Saturday and Sunday through October 20th. Get all of the details at snowbird.com.
Let's see, we have Boners Round 1 coming up, if I remember correctly. And here they are. Boner candidate number 1. We had a good laugh about that. Boner candidate number 2, Carrie, you will not like this boner candidate.
Oh?
And boner candidate number 3, you'll need a lot more. Oh, there. You'll need a lot more than 15 gallons.
All right.
That's number 3.
Boners Round 1, Big Boy News, all on the way. Stand by.
September is National.
All right, remember that info. You're going to need it. It's a vote for round one of your boners. Presenting to you now 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, funny human behavior, and you will decide with your votes. Of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day? If it wins here, it goes secures a place in Boner Dome at 9:20 this morning. It'll go up against the winner of round 2's voting. We'll do this again in an hour. With 3 more candidates, we'll get another winner there. We'll throw them both into the Boner Dome. 9:20 this morning is when you will decide boner of the day. Right now, you're picking the champion for round 1. Here we go. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
tickets to see National Geographic writer Kevin Fedarko and photographer Peter McBride share their journey of nearly 800 trailless miles through the Grand Canyon September 27th. Tickets are available at utahpresents.org.
Here's boner candidate number 1. We had a good laugh about that. A woman has been forced to have surgery after she accidentally swallowed her engagement ring during a dream. Jenna Evans in San Diego thought her fiancé Bobby Howell's instructions to ingest the piece of jewelry to protect it was part of a nightmare. But when she woke up, the ring was gone. After she noticed a gap on the 4th finger of her left hand, she knew exactly what she had done and rushed to urgent care last Wednesday. She explained that when the x-ray came back, it revealed that the ring was right there in my stomach.
Ugh.
And soon after, she claimed to feel it in her guts. Ms. Evans needed an upper endoscopy to retrieve the custom-made 3-stone band, and after some rest, she was able to laugh about the incident. Yeah. Bobby finally gave me my ring back this morning. I promise not to swallow it again. We're still getting married, and all is right in the world, she posted. So apparently, she was having a dream when she popped, this is what she says, when she popped her engagement ring into her mouth and swallowed it down with a glass of water. It wasn't until the next morning she realized the truth. She says the dream was so vivid. And in the dream, her fiancé, Bobby, said, better take good care of that ring. The only way you can really take care of it is to swallow it.
This is all very strange.
I think it's really sketchy.
There's a lot happening here.
I think there's more going on. I mean, she had to have surgery.
I suspect drugs.
You think?
I think it's drugs.
There's something going on there, that's
I think
for
she
sure.
took the Ambien and,
yeah.
you know how you get hungry?
Or racist.
She said... Huh?
Roseanne said that she took Ambien and it made her racist.
It made her racist.
So,
yeah. She says, I've been taking the ring off at night now, just in case.
Yeah, there's something going on here.
Boner candidate number 1. Well, we had a good laugh about it. Boner candidate number 2. Carrie, you won't like this boner candidate.
All right, you warned me.
A woman in Crèvecoeur, wherever that is, in Texas, maybe, is fighting back against her neighbors to keep the 3 monkeys who live with her.
Monkeys?
She said, how did you know? She said that they served as emotional support animals, but her neighbors are worried that the monkeys are dangerous. And the one that she's holding at x96.com/live, he doesn't look like a very nice guy.
Listen, some people just have that face, okay? You can't judge them just because they look like they're frowning.
This woman's name is Texanne McBride Tehan.
Texanne.
And she has trained and lived with monkeys for 20 years. And she tells 4 News it wasn't until about a month after she moved to her current home in Crèvecoeur that a neighbor spotted one of the monkeys outside and worried about the monkey attacking and called the city. It's a wild animal. They belong in zoos, you know, or in their natural habitat, the neighbor said. Everything I hear about emotional support animals, they only speak about cats and dogs. Well, that's not necessarily
I was going to say,
true.
you're not paying attention.
According to the city of Crèvecoeur, a monkey is considered an inherently dangerous animal, along with alligators, lions, and pythons. These animals are not allowed to stay in residential areas, so the city has ticketed Ms. McBride Tehan. During the council meeting on Monday, McBride Tehan defended her monkeys. They're not dangerous animals. They're trained. They assist me. I have PTSD because of something that happened to me. It was a very bad thing. It's a very bad thing that happened a long time ago.
The monkeys help.
And the monkeys help me.
Oh, let her have the monkeys.
I don't think this woman needs to have 3 monkeys in her house.
Well, you got one. What's 2 more?
See, I knew you wouldn't like this boner candidate. Boner candidate number 2.
Getting reports that Creve Coeur is in Missouri.
Missouri, okay. Thank you. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. You're going to need a lot more than 15 gallons.
All right. Boner candidate number 3 for round 1 coming up after this Big Boy News and Opinioendo. Brought to you by...
Refinance your auto loan and save with Cypress Credit Union's low rate. Be entered to win one of 8 Southern California vacations. Earn entries with every 10,000 refinanced. Visit cypresscu.com for more information.
Well, as we mentioned early in the show, the lead singer of the Cars has died at the age of 75. He was found unconscious and unresponsive in his Manhattan townhouse, found by his estranged wife, Paulina Porskova. Ric Ocasek was pronounced dead at the scene, and they say, to all appearances, he died of natural causes.
When I say pronounced dead, they don't actually... I pronounce you dead.
Well, they don't.
Kinda.
They don't raise their arm like that.
They're pronounced.
But they have to have a. That's what they say, pronouncement, because they have to have an official.
It has to be declared.
I'm just saying, when I die, I want someone to pronounce it.
I'd be happy to do that.
I want you to.
I will.
Okay.
I'm happy to do it. Can we schedule it?
Sure.
He's very busy.
You have pronouncements all over town?
Listen, I'm a death pronouncer for many people.
He's going to get the costume. He's going to get the whole, he's like a Shakespearean kind of thing.
Hear ye.
The ruffles around the neck. And
I pronounce you.
Yes.
Yeah. Time, 7:27.
Yeah, that's what I want.
pronounce you deceased. Some accounts have him as 70 years old. Some have him as 75 years old. I think he tried to kind of hide his age at one point, and that's why the discrepancies. I don't know how I feel about this. 5th grade girl grabbed a long metal spoon. This was a story in the Tribune.
Okay.
Started dishing up green beans to her classmates.
All right.
She was working in the lunchroom. It was her assignment for the week at Tolman Elementary in Bountiful.
Okay.
She was supposed to report to the lunchroom every day for her 30-minute shift, sometimes to serve food, other times to wipe down tables. At the end, she would get a treat for the work she performed. She explained how it worked to her dad about a week after school started last month, and after she had started the little job, and when she finished her service, that's what the school called it, she could head back to her classroom a little bit late, she told her dad, to catch up on the lesson. Well, her dad, Matt, listened to his 10-year-old explain what was going on and called the principal. He was angry. He said, I take my kid to school to learn, not to work in the lunchroom. I'm not saying our kids shouldn't learn work ethics, but that's a separate thing, and parents were never told about this. Her daughter didn't serve green beans or anything else after that. As a matter of fact, the school, the Davis School District, apparently a lot of parents have been concerned about this, and they're going to stop having students work in the lunchroom.
Now,
but according to state and federal law, it is legal for students to dish food to their and it's rather common to do. I remember, I'm not sure I ever did it, but I remember classmates of mine.
I did.
Katie says she did it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm stuck on was it just her or were
No,
others?
I said there are many parents in the Davis School District who are concerned about this. So the schools have said the reason that we do this is because we don't have enough money. And so students helping in the lunchroom saves a bit of money, that we would have to pay for other lunch workers.
Well, that's where the outrage should be.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big problem.
Our schools don't have enough money.
It says it's the only option for some of the schools that can't afford enough staff or can't hire workers at the low pay set to fill the open spots. $10.68 an hour for a substitute cook in the Davis School District. We felt like not only would it be a help, but it would give the kids an ability to be a part of the team. I don't know. I don't have a huge problem with the kids working in the lunchroom. I seem to remember so long ago that I wanted to do it, but I don't know as I ever did. But it seemed like it would be kind of fun to, dish out the green beans to my classmates and that kind of thing. Anyway, Park City Coffee Shop. They discriminate and they get away with it.
How so?
Well, the name of the coffee shop is Lucky Ones, and they employ only people with disabilities. They say if you are able-bodied, you can't work here. No one's picketing them. No one's threatening a lawsuit because, well, how could you? They hire only people that are disabled. That's it. That's the deal. To work at Lucky Ones, you have to have an intellectual or developmental disability.
Oh.
Every person on the entire team, some 17 full-time employees at present, dealing with something outside the mainstream: autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, traumatic brain injury, and so forth. Others need not apply, they said, because we know how hard it is. The owners of the coffee shop, and again, it's called Lucky Ones, we know how difficult it is for people with these kinds of disabilities to find meaningful work or something that they can do in society. I like that a lot. So there was an attack on a Saudi oil facility. The Trump administration has intensified its focus on Iran as being the likely culprit, but nothing has been confirmed yet.
Nope.
The government released satellite photos showing what officials said were at least 17 points of impact at several Saudi energy facilities from strikes they said came from the north or northwest. That would be consistent with an attack coming from the direction of the northern Persian Gulf, Iran or Iraq, rather than from Yemen, where the Iranian-backed Houthi militia have claimed responsibility for the strikes operates. So the Yemen militants, the Yemeni militants, they've claimed responsibility, but the Trump administration and I think maybe the Saudis are saying it's too sophisticated. They couldn't have done it. They couldn't have afforded that many drones and that many, because there were a bunch of drones that that were weaponized.
Well, they say they were launched from Iran. They can tell where they launched.
Administration officials in background briefing for reporters, as well as in separate interviews on Sunday, also said a combination of drones and cruise missiles, a lot of them might have been used. That would indicate a degree of scope, precision, and sophistication beyond the ability of the Houthi rebels. So Saudi Arabia, I know they have their own Air Force.
They've got a pretty significant military.
So I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
I was wondering why we would go and attack Iran if we find out. But then I saw this headline, and it almost caught me. John Bolton says an attack on 2 Saudi oil tankers is an attack on all Americans.
All Americans?
Well, I thought.
Is it really?
I thought, really? Come on. Now, wait. Hang on, though. Hang
okay.
on. And then I looked at the source of the headline, and there's a picture of John Bolton there looking particularly stupid. And it's an onion headline.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you had to think about it.
Yeah, you had to think, exactly.
That's what I mean. It almost caught me. I thought, did he really say that?
Someone on Twitter pointed out this morning that Saudi Arabia owns the 45th floor of Trump Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, yeah.
Senate Democratic presidential candidates on Sunday lined up to call for the impeachment of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh in the face of a new uninvestigated allegation of sexual impropriety while he was in college.
This won't go anywhere.
Kavanaugh was confirmed last October, of course, after emotional hearings in the Senate over a sexual assault allegation from his high school years. The New York Times now reports that Kavanaugh faced a separate allegation from his time at Yale University, and that the FBI did not investigate the claim. They knew about it, but did not investigate it.
And apparently the people involved tried to call the FBI saying, I have information.
During that whole thing, but everybody kept it down.
I like beer. He likes beer.
When he testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee last year, Kavanaugh, in addition to saying he likes beer, denied all allegations of impropriety. But there is another source, a person who says, I observed him doing certain things. that were, and they described them in pretty graphic detail. Now, one of the alleged victims of what this person said, I saw him doing such and such to so-and-so. So-and-so says, I don't remember. It possibly could have happened. I don't remember that. But he's a lowlife.
Drinking is one thing, but the concern is about truthfulness. And in your written testimony, you said sometimes you had too many drinks. Was there ever a time when you drank so much that you couldn't remember what happened or part of what happened the night before?
No, I remember what happened, and I think you've probably had beers, Senator, and so.
So you're saying there's never been a case where you drank so much that you didn't remember what happened the night before or part of what happened?
You're asking about, blackout. I don't know. Have you?
Have you?
I hate him.
Have you?
And finally, this story. There is an award ceremony, annual award ceremony to celebrate the slightly lighter end of science by honoring studies and experiments that at first make people laugh, but then maybe make them think. And one of the winners this year was Roger Misset and Boris Benguivia of the University of Toulouse. Roger Misset is a fertility specialist who has done a lot of important work, but they call these the Ig Nobel Awards. His Ig Nobel Award was for a slightly more bizarre endeavor. He and his colleague Boris Benguivia conducted an experiment that involved taping thermometers to the testicles of several French postmen in order to find out if the testicles were both the same temperature. Their research showed that on average, the left testicle was slightly warmer, but only if the postmen were wearing clothes. The experiment outline did not explain why postmen were considered the perfect subjects for testing of testicles, but added that a follow-up experiment tested the temperatures of the testicles of 11 bus drivers. Testicle temperature can have an impact on fertility, as we know, as prolonged very high or very low temperatures can damage the quality of a man's sperm. So it's possible that the Toulouse experiment may yet contribute to help finding couples, particularly those people who are married to postmen or bus drivers, with fertility problems.
My right one is significantly warmer.
Oh.
Weather, traffic.
Brought to you by Maverick wants to give you a free bonfire burrito. Just log on to the updated Maverick app before September 10th. That was 6 days ago. And it'll be loaded into your account. Maverick Adventures. First stop. I stopped there. I filled up at Maverick yesterday.
Oh, so did I, as a matter of fact. Which one did you go to?
If there's a Maverick close, but I will always choose the Maverick.
I was at the one on 9th East and 3rd South. How about you?
Park City.
Ah.
Yeah, so weather today. Warm, very warm, highs in the upper 80s, and very windy, especially later on this afternoon and into the evening. We might even see a thunderstorm out of that, but definitely windy. Traffic, friend of the program says, Foothill Boulevard, right lane northbound blocked at Red Hangar. Broken down bus. They're saying maybe take Parley's Way to 23rd East. Hopefully it clears soon. That earlier lost load, I-15 southbound near 53rd South in Murray. A third lane is now open, but delays are still stretching all the way back into Salt Lake. That's traffic.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. You're going to need a lot more than 15 gallons. Russian Orthodox priests have blessed a city that they say is suffering from the diseases of drunkenness and fornication by throwing holy water out of a plane.
It can't hurt.
The city of Tver, northwest of Moscow, received a blessing from above on Wednesday from the patriarch of the city's Orthodox Church, the Metropolitan Sawa of Tver. Father Alexander Goryachev and 2 other clergymen were also present for the blessing. The amount of holy water used for the mass that they dumped out over the city from a plane totaled 15 gallons. They performed the ritual to honor All Russian Sobriety Day. They also brought an icon of John the Baptist, the patron saint of alcoholics, and the inexhaustible chalice, which is supposed to heal those suffering from addiction problems.
The
Right.
inexhaustible
But
chalice
the
sounds
inexhaustible
like
chalice is filled with vodka,
Yeah.
though. So any disease from a virus is from a virus, and a virus is a demon. Therefore, any disease is primarily a spiritual disease caused by a demon, said Goryachev. It wasn't until the plane reached 200 to 300 meters, however high that is, I don't know. And the priests began their mass, and then they dumped out 15 gallons of holy water. I'm saying you're going to need a lot more than 15 gallons. Boner candidate number 3.
Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, we had a good laugh about that, about the woman who claimed that in a dream she was told by her fiancé to keep her engagement ring in a very safe place and to swallow it, and so she did, and she actually swallowed it in her dream, she claims. It had to be removed surgically. Boner candidate number 2, Carrie, I don't think you'll like this boner candidate. It's a Missouri woman fighting to keep her emotional support. Not monkey, not one monkey. Monkeys! Monkeys. 3 of them. That's number 2. And boner candidate number 3, you'll need a lot more than 15 gallons.
All right, here we go. This is round 1 of your boner voting. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it secures a spot in Boner Dome. It's not boner of the day yet. It'll have to go up against the winner of round 2's voting. Round 2 happens at 8:20. 3 more, 3 new candidates. And you'll pick a winner there. We'll take both of them and throw them against each other. Boner fight happens at 9:20. That's when you decide boner of the day. Right now, round 1. Pick your champion. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that number, that single digit, in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Or call Katie in the producer's booth, 877-602-9696. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting September 16, 2019, and vote there. Better hurry, though. You've got less than 300 seconds to do it. Let's go. This is round 1. Right, 7:48. It's time to award round one of your boners.
And round one of the boners is brought to you in part by Patatas Bravas.
Ooh, I love patata. You went to Copper, and
No, I made them.
you made them. I did. Nice. Enjoy drinks and food and live music at Gracie's tonight with Monday Night Jazz Session and Monday Night Football. Gracie's Gastropub, located 326 Southwest Temple, adults only.
Boner candidate number one. We had a good laugh about that. The woman claiming that she swallowed her engagement ring in her sleep, but she had a dream that her boyfriend told her to do it.
I'm suspicious of this story. There's more to it.
That's why it's a boner candidate. Boner candidate number two. Carrie, you won't like this boner candidate. A Missouri woman is fighting to keep her emotional support monkeys.
Monkeys?
Not one monkey, maybe. I can see that, but
Well,
3 monkeys.
truth be told, the first monkey is her emotional support monkey. The other monkey is the emotional support monkey for the first monkey,
and then
the third.
That makes perfect sense.
And then the third has a little stuffed teddy bear.
Yeah. Oh, and then boner candidate number 3, which was you'll need a lot more than 15 gallons because that city of Tiver, boy, drunkenness and fornication abounds. And the priest, the Russian Orthodox priest, saying Mass and dumping holy water from a plane
It'll help.
over the city. Charlie won tickets to the National Geographic. Oh, that's the event up at Utah Presents.
The
Right?
Nat Geo, yeah. Go to utahpresents.com for ticket information.
I want to go to that.
Well, I bet you can.
I think I will. And the winner was boner candidate number 3. You will need a lot more than 15 gallons.
All right, there you go. You have chosen the winner of round 1. It now goes forward to boner fight. Might be boner of the day. Round 2 coming up at 8:20. 3 more, 3 different candidates. We'll pick a winner there. Send them both against each other. 9:20 this morning is when you'll decide boner of the day.
I was when we were in the studio on Friday. We were in here, and all of a sudden there was a bam against the window.
Mm-hmm.
It was so loud that people heard it on the air, and it was a pigeon, and it had flown into the window, as birds will do on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw it hit, but then I didn't get up and sort of follow what happened to the pigeon afterward. You
Carrie
did,
will.
Carrie. What?
It flew. It kind of it was stunned a little, but it flew down into the middle of the street.
Ooh.
And it stood there for a while, and cars went around it. It just kind of stood there like, like it was trying to catch its bearings.
Yeah.
And then I turned, because the show was on, and then I went back to see if he was still okay, and he was gone.
Well,
so I don't know what happened.
Just so I went to lunch that Friday with Bad Brad Wheeler, and we walked to lunch. We walked to the Daily, which is up here on Main Street, 222 South Main. But there's kind of a shortcut you can take. You can go down this alley. You don't have to walk clear up to Main and then turn left and go. You can walk through this alley. So Brad and I are walking along through the alley talking about this and that. And all of a sudden, I look down. I see something moving. And I look down, and it's a pigeon on the ground with its head pretty mangled. And it was just flopping around in circles.
Oh, jeez.
Its head as the pivot.
Yeah.
And it just kept going around in circles and in circles and circles and circles, Brad and I just stopped and stood there and for a second and went, what can you do? I mean, I don't have anything to put it out of its misery with,
There's nothing you can do.
I just felt terrible. And then I stood there and looked at it. It was gross. And then it was perplexing because I thought, I wonder if
it's
that
the
the same
same
pigeon. It just knocked his brains out and managed to make it over to the alley, but then it was just sort of flopping around in circles. This was, 3 hours later.
Well, this one, it didn't. I mean, it looked intact when it was just standing in the middle of the road.
Yeah. But then, so it was gross and perplexing. And then the more you watched it was kind of funny in an odd way.
Funny?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just.
It's not funny.
Just going around. Well, you weren't there, were you?
What?
Just going around. It wasn't really funny, but it was almost funny. It was it was that kind of horrible, funny sort of feeling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when my rabbit had a stroke.
Really?
And couldn't. And you put him on the grass, and he'd run in a.
It was kind of
circle.
funny. It was sad, but it was
No,
kind
it
of
was
funny.
horrible.
You brought it up because it was kind of funny.
No, it just was the same sort of thing, and
So, I always wonder, and people have brought this up before. You almost never see dead pigeons. There are lots of pigeons, but where do they go when they die? What happens to them?
Something eats them?
That's kind of what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a great while you'll see one in a trash heap or something, but I can't. I guess something must. There are peregrine falcons around, aren't there? Some peregrine falcons on in the maybe
Maybe that's
take
what
care of them
happens.
all. Maybe they take care of all the dead pigeons, or
we'll take care of the dead pigeons.
except falcons eat live things. I think. I don't know, but anyway, I was wondering. It probably wasn't the same pigeon, and I just wish I'd had some wherewithal to, do something about it, put it out of its misery, if that's what it was. It must have been.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it was just weird and creepy.
Corey says that other pigeons eat the pigeons.
Oh, I bet that's true.
Because they're rats with wings, essentially.
That's true. They'll eat pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, but I had a delicious lunch at the Daily after that. Oh yeah.
How's Brad? Is he
He's
good?
Yeah, he's fine. He's bad Brad Wheeler.
He's as bad Brad as he could be.
And his friend Joe McQueen, who is 99, something like that.
How old is Joe?
He didn't turn
98,
did he turn
99?
100 yet?
I don't think so.
Anyway, he had been having some health problems, but he's doing okay.
Yeah, I saw he was in the hospital.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Oh,
he's
good.
He's eating a pint
Oh
of
no,
ice.
he's 100.
He's 100. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
he
I
did
thought.
turn 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's eating a pint of ice cream a day. So
Oh,
that's
good
helping.
for him.
It's helping him.
I hope it's good ice cream.
I think
What,
it is.
Carrie, are you on? You do the fancy ice cream.
Well, I'm just saying that if you're 100 years old and you're having a pint of ice cream a day, don't waste your time on bad ice cream.
No.
Have the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I had some Americone Dream the other day.
I love it.
And I had not had any in a long time because I've been eating mostly that gelato, that Talenti. That's what it is. It's the most common brand you see in the grocery, Talenti. And I like it pretty well, but mainly I eat it because my wife doesn't react well to actual ice cream. There's too much butterfat in it or something. So I hadn't had any for a long time. I didn't like it as well as I used to. I have to find some other ice cream, I guess.
There's lots to
I
choose.
know. I know. Now
There's
I
a
need
few.
to go on a quest.
There's a few.
I need to go on a quest.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking at the UDOT camera. They're not writing anything about the traffic for some reason. Maybe that guy has the day off, but it looks like slowage from downtown Salt Lake through Murray on southbound I-15, northbound I-15 through Draper and Sandy, and it still looks like maybe that earlier bus crash at Foothill Boulevard is causing some slowage up on that part of the valley. If you see something, if you could please text it to me, I would appreciate it, because UDOT is zero help to me this morning. 33986. Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest is here. Enjoy classic German beer, food, and music every Saturday and Sunday through October 20th. Get all the details at snowbird.com.
All right, Bill Frost will be here in a few moments to tell us what's on TV this week. We got round 2 of your boners coming up. All that and more on the way. Stand by.
Try unplugging and play a game face-to-face with real humans at Oasis Games. Free in-store demos of up to 300 board games you can try before you buy. Drop by Oasis Games, 4 South, 275 East, or visit oasisgames.com.
Well, here he is, Bill Frost. He's here to talk about what's on the TV. Bill does a column in Slug magazine about television and streaming mostly, right?
Content.
Pretty much all streaming.
Yeah, all streaming.
Yeah.
And then he also has a band called Magda Vega, which I saw you're being at Big Willie's with a band that had a really interesting name.
Tycoon Machete.
Tycoon Machete.
Great band.
Wow.
Tycoon Machete.
Yeah, we'll be there Saturday night
at Big
17th
Willie's.
South Main. Yeah.
And you can find that. Oh, and Bill also does a podcast called TV Tan.
Yeah.
And you can get access to all of that stuff by going to
BillFrost.tv.
Simple.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not to the too many shows portion of the fall just yet.
Oh, we'll get there then.
That is next week.
Next week?
Next week is when almost everything drops.
Okay.
So do we get a bit of a break, or is there something new this week?
You got some stuff this week. Tonight, of course, is the season 28 premiere of Dancing with the Stars.
Ugh.
Who cares? Oh, really?
Well, they're doing something different this season. Is they're actually having some stars on.
Oh, hey, there's an idea.
You've heard of Christy Brinkley, right?
I have.
You've heard of James Vanderbeek.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean Spicer.
Yeah, John Bolton just missed the bar.
Oh, damn.
Maybe next time.
That would have been fun.
But yeah, that's happening tonight. And also, if you're up at 12:30 a.m., the premiere of A Little Late with Lily Singh on NBC. This is replacing Last Call with Carson Daly. She's very funny.
Okay.
She comes from YouTube and elsewhere.
Yeah, I was
So
reading about her.
she's a woman in late night, very late night, but still, it's something. And she's a Canadian brown woman in late night.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Actually, no, I'm going to give her a couple of weeks, and then I'll try.
Yeah. Also coming up tomorrow, the fall premieres of Tosh.0 and the Jim Jeffries Show.
Huh.
Two shows that oddly complement each other somehow.
Tosh.0 is still on. Huh?
I know, right?
I haven't watched that in
I like
so
Jim
long.
Jeffries.
But I'll watch Jeffries. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Coming up on Wednesday, American Horror Story, 1984.
I'm not sure whether I'm going to jump in on this one or not.
It's a story of a bunch of pretty 20-somethings who go to a camp and all of a sudden they start getting slashed. I don't know how Ryan Murphy comes up with it.
Wow, innovative.
Never been done before.
No.
Is it Camp Crystal Lake?
It is Camp Redwood.
Oh.
And most of your usual suspects from American Horror Story are back, except for Jessica Lange, again.
Yeah, see, I just can't decide whether to jump in on this one or not.
I don't know. It looks interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because I love 80s slasher flicks.
Exactly.
Coming up on Friday, the season 1 continuation. It's not season 2 of Disenchantment for Matt Groening.
I noticed that was still on.
Katie's excited.
She's the one who's watching it.
A lot of people are watching it. Apparently, think Futurama meets D&D, but not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watched a couple, and of course, I was not a huge Futurama fan when it was first on.
Aww.
And then I went back and started watching it, and went,
You
wait a
didn't
minute.
appreciate it in its time.
Yeah, somehow I didn't appreciate it, and then.
And also on Friday, now more than ever, season 3, Black Jesus. After 4 years away.
I was going to say.
I thought it was canceled too.
All right.
This is from Aaron Magruder of the Boondocks.
Maybe it's a miracle.
This is on Adult Swim, right?
Yes. He's Jesus in Compton.
Well, okay.
Charlie Murphy's also on here. He's really funny on
the
here.
stuff that I saw, it's hit and miss. But,
definitely.
If you're, something to distract you.
But it makes the right people angry.
Exactly.
And that's all I care about, really. And Sunday, the Emmy Awards.
Oh, what's the difference between
the creative arts?
The creative arts.
Yeah, they gave out a bunch of Emmy Awards.
They had the creative arts are the less famous people.
Is that really what it is?
Pretty much.
But more creative?
So what was the one that was last night?
That was the creative.
That was the creative.
Yeah.
Okay, because Michael McKean didn't win.
Yeah.
I follow him on Twitter.
I don't get why they do that. I mean,
because there's too many Emmys to do all in one night.
It would be at least an 8-hour or
then,
longer show if they did it all at once.
Then don't nominate so many.
Yeah, you got to recognize the people.
It's
but
technical stuff.
The Emmy Awards are basically the the star power, the people you know. The best actor.
But I saw James Corden won one last night.
Yeah.
A couple. I mean, some other people Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
The Simpsons won a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. The series like drama series, Better Call Saul, Killing Eve, Ozark, Pose, Succession, all those are up. Comedy, Barry.
Oh, yes.
Is up.
I'll bet it does well.
Fleabag, The Good Place, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Russian Doll, and Schitt's Creek, and Veep.
Fleabag will
all
do
good
well.
shows.
Fleabag will do well. Yeah, everybody's very excited about Schitt's Creek because it hasn't gotten a lot of recognition awards-wise so far.
Very funny.
But this could be the one.
It's a charming show.
Oh, yeah. And, that is your week there. Next week, it gets real.
That's when everything starts to happen.
It gets real.
It gets
What-
very real
What are
next
you
week.
most excited about next week?
As far as network shows,
No?
not really.
The few that I've looked
There's-
at, just you kind of go, huh?
There's two that got my interest. One is called Evil. It's a CBS.
Well, you've got my attention.
I know, right? It is a criminal psychologist and a priest are investigating Satan-y stuff.
Satan-y
stuff, yeah.
His name is Father Dowling, right?
Actually, no. The priest is actually Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Oh, glad he found work.
Yeah.
Father Luke Cage.
So he's a priest, and then the other person.
I can't remember the other person's name. It's a newcomer, and they're basically
So it's-
Sculler and Moldy.
I was gonna say, it's-
Sculler and Moldy.
You,
I
you
said
believe in Satan, you don't believe in Satan.
So it's instead of aliens and phenomena,
okay.
it's
Satan-y stuff.
It's
yeah.
demons.
Yeah, kind of weird for CBS to be doing
That
something
is
like
odd.
that.
Oh, okay.
And also, there's one called Emergence with Alison Tolman from Fargo.
Oh, yeah.
like her.
I saw some previews of that.
You've seen a lot of previews for
Yeah,
that.
it looks really, I mean, like, what the hell's going on in this show?
Yeah, she happens across a child who in unusual circumstances, and the child might have supernatural powers. Yeah, it's sort of a sci-fi thing, and those don't fare well on ABC since Lost, but
Yeah.
Whenever you say the child might have supernatural powers, no,
They
the
do.
child does have
They do, yeah.
supernatural powers.
You're not going to get to the end of the first episode. Nah, no powers.
No
Don't have a show if it's just a normal kid.
Yeah.
See if we can find another kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
but he's a speed reader. That's the power he has.
The Evelyn Woods
Yes, he can
School
read
of Speed Reading.
very
Yeah.
quickly.
Those are two I'm mildly interested in. The rest of them, there are far fewer broadcast shows being produced this year.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Usually when you get the Entertainment Weekly, it says 50 new shows. This year it's like 17.
17 new shows for you.
Yeah.
Are they giving up?
No, I don't think. I think they're just scaling back because broadcast TV is still a lot of people watch it.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's 9 out of 10 people.
But then you've got the new Jennifer Aniston thing that's going to be on the Apple platform.
TV.
So it's
But still,
They're all spread out.
But still, broadcast has young Sheldon. You know, and by the way, I saw a little bit of that the other day. I think it's Jim Parsons is doing an amazing job. I don't know how he gets himself to look so young, but it is really cool.
It's a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
A lot of CGI.
Mm-hmm.
All of his head was removed except for the brain and the eyes
Is
to
that what it
fit
is?
into the costume.
Yeah.
That's how dedicated he is to
That's
that.
pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Actually, the best part of that show is I can't remember the actress's name, but she's the daughter of Laurie Metcalf, and she's playing Laurie Metcalf at that age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
She's
oh.
Laurie
She's
Metcalf's
really good.
actual daughter?
Yes.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's really nothing much interesting about young Sheldon.
No, I don't understand why there are still seasons with TV.
I know. Every year
Why-
they say we're getting away from seasons, and they don't.
Yeah, I don't
They say
understand
we're
that.
programming the summer, and it's nothing but garbage game shows and reality shows.
Well, wait, the Starland Vocal Band.
Huh? What?
Never mind.
Huh?
I just don't understand why they still insist on this whole season mentality. It's doing nothing but hurting them.
Well, they're
You know?
afraid if one of them blinks, they're going to miss out on
Oh,
something.
yeah. Who's going to do the first?
Yeah, who's going to be the first one
Yeah.
to say, no, we're not doing the fall? Well, the CW kind of, they wait until October.
They wait till October,
Which
yeah.
is smart.
Yeah.
They wait till everybody else does their thing.
You guys go do you. We'll wait. Yeah, you go first.
So they're kind of the first one to break away from it a little bit.
Because, yeah, they've got a ton of stuff that they're bringing.
I think
yeah.
they should probably just do, well, we'll put new shows on when we get them.
That's what
When
I
they're
think
done.
they should do.
Yeah, we're doing a new show here. Oh, yeah, here we're going to introduce a new show next week.
But how do you figure out when to give the awards out? Because
I mean, but people are consuming shows all the
They
time.
do it with movies, Gina.
And they're doing it at their own pace.
And the thing is, they
So
also don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know this is an NBC show necessarily. They
don't
watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, they don't know or care.
and Bill, there are seasons of movies.
True.
But
They're- they do it with-
they're all independently released and just here and there, and they can figure it out.
All right.
There will be too many shows next week.
There will be next week. Thank you.
Thanks, friends of the program, for sending in your traffic updates. Bus crash making Foothill a little slower, but only by about 5 minutes above usual, so thank you for that. Traffic southbound I-15 through Davis County, stop and go, especially through the Layton area. Fertilizer spill, I-15 southbound, about 45th south on I-15. 3 right lanes are still closed. That also, according to a friend of the program. If you're a friend of the program and say, hey, I want to tell people about traffic, you can. 33986. Snowbird's annual Oktoberfest is here. Enjoy classic German beer, food, and music every Saturday and Sunday through October 20th. Get all the details at snowbird.com.
Okay, here we go with bonus round 2. Here are the candidates. Boner candidate number 1. So are they slowing down? I can't tell. Boner candidate number 2. Please bring Indy back. And boner candidate number 3. Well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with mom and dad, but is this the way to avoid it?
All right, round 2 of your boners. Big boy news, opinioendo, all coming up after these. Salt Lake Film Society, or slfs.org, is the website.
Your place for independent films and documentaries, and also film projects and help for local filmmakers and
Screenwriter
screenwriters.
workshops they do, and they bring in filmmakers for panel discussions.
Salt Lake Film Society is all about independent cinema 365 days a year at the Broadway and the Tower. You can just kind of show up and there'll be a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a good movie playing on one of those screens at the Broadway and certainly at the Tower.
Go there to their website and sign up for their email newsletter. It comes once a week. It lets you know what's opening, what's still playing at all their theaters.
It's slfs.org. And if you sign up for that, check out the Red Carpet Club as well. It's a way you can support the Salt Lake Film Society because it is an independent and nonprofit arts organization. So go to slfs.org.
Remember that info. You're going to need it to pick round 2 of your boners. This isn't a game.
It's kind of a game.
No, it's deadly serious.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is a social experiment that we've been conducting for years.
That's true.
All right, round 2. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. And you'll decide with your votes of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it goes up against the winner of round 1. We did that an hour ago. We got a winner already, so we'll take both of the winners and throw them into Boner Dome at 9:20 this morning is when you will for sure pick boner of the day. Right now you're picking the champion for round 2, so choose wisely. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote. One of you lucky random boner voters will receive
a gift certificate to Fat Cats.
Here's boner candidate number 1. So are they slowing down? Well, I can't tell. A grandmother in Montana, Polson, Montana, is now an honorary state trooper thanks to some ingenuity and a hairdryer. Patty Baumgartner said she wants cars in her neighborhood to slow down.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of traffic there could possibly be in Polson, Montana, but she wants the cars to slow down, so she took matters into her own hands. A photo of Baumgartner sitting with her hairdryer on the side of the road went viral on social media. A mother and a grandmother, Baumgartner wants cars in her neighborhood to slow down for people's safety. They forget to slow down, and there are a lot of people that are complaining about that they can't walk or ride their bikes. We were talking about maybe doing something that would slow the cars down, so we decided to put me in a chair and I guess use the hairdryer like it's a speed gun kind of thing.
Why is this a boner candidate?
Her son took the picture of her.
This is great.
Do you?
Yeah.
And tweeted out to Trooper, tweeted out to Trooper Noah Pasola with the Montana Highway Patrol. I thought it was hilarious, he said. I think we have a speed issue in Montana, and I thought it was a creative way for the public to combat it.
This is how I feel. I don't think this is a boner candidate.
Hang on. So it's not official or anything like that, but I don't know what else to do. I think she's trying to do her best.
Yeah.
Baumgartner says, I can't tell if the cars are slowing down really, but I'm going to keep doing it.
This is not a boner candidate.
It is, Gina, because the cars are driving by and they're saying, I wonder why that old lady's sitting there with a hairdryer.
She's trying to do something good.
Boner candidate. No, the boner candidate comes with the cops are going, no, the cops should go set up if it's a problem, should go set up and take care of it, not have little old Baumgartner sitting there with her hairdryer.
I mean, she doesn't even bother to try to even disguise the blow dryer. I mean,
or wear a uniform.
I think she's great.
It's white plastic. No one's going to be fooled by that.
No, I think she's got a screw loose.
I like her.
Boner candidate number 1. Well, I think that just sort of shows us.
There was a car, a Mini, a lot like Carrie's, driving through my neighborhood yesterday. Way too fast. Like, so fast, if I had had something in my hands, I would have thrown it at them. I know that's not what you should do, but I wanted them to slow down, and it was very frustrating.
Probably wouldn't have hit them because they were going so fast.
I know, but you know
what you should have done? You should have gotten your hairdryer.
Well, that's why I'm going to sit out in my lawn with my hairdryer.
Yeah, that'll work. Here's boner candidate number 2. Please bring Indy back. The family of a man with cerebral palsy in Cache County, Avon, Utah, as a matter of fact, is pleading for the safe return of their son's companion animal, Indy, after the little dog went missing from their driveway last Thursday. At the end of a quiet country road in Avon, you'll find the Hennessy family. We do live out in the middle of nowhere. We've just a few neighbors, Desiree Hennessy said, standing on her front porch. We are all just sitting outside. We made a comment about how there was more traffic because of the salmon spawning up at the Porcupine Dam. And we were like, well, let's just run in the house. And we called for Indy, but Indy was gone. We were playing with her. We were engaged with her, and then within 2 seconds, she was just gone. I think somebody was driving past, and they saw a cute dog, and they jumped out of the car and put the dog in and took off. But this wasn't just any dog. The mini Schnauzer is also their son Hestevan's companion animal. Hestevan has cerebral palsy and is immobile and nonverbal, and the dog, named Indy, helps him immensely. Hestevan has extreme brain damage, so cerebral palsy. He has seizures, he has hypoxia, so forth. He eats through a G-tube, so he has a lot of conditions, but Indy helps him, and we think someone stole the dog. So just please bring her back. Has a pink harness on and a big tag that says her name, Indy.
Clearly she belongs to somebody.
Boner candidate number 2, please bring Indy back. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. Well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it.
All right, we got candidate number 3 for round 2. Coming up after this, Big Boy News and Opinnuendo, brought to you by...
The store, Fine Foods and Market, is now open at the Gateway. Check out the new merchants at the Gateway, including the Lounge at Wise Guys, Seabird Cocktail, Vinyl Lounge, Cheddar Burger. Visit shopthegateway.com to see what's new.
What's the date today?
16th.
Oh. I didn't even know. I didn't know that Kiss was supposed to be at USANA.
They're coming. They were supposed to be.
It was supposed to be the last show of this tour or whatever.
Yeah. On the 14th, but it was postponed. I just saw this. Gene Simmons has illness. He said, he says, I have to apologize to the fans in Salt Lake. We will come back and do the show at a later date.
It's not an illness, Bill. It's a
medical procedure.
It's a medical procedure.
Gina, what?
I think is he.
What was it?
I think is he getting circumcised?
Is he? What is it?
Well, I was speculating it was a breast reduction.
That's
that was my. No?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Doesn't say.
It's a medical procedure. It's nothing I want to talk about right now.
Shannon insists that I have it done. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't realize they were going to be there, and then I'm sorry for you Kiss fans who missed the show.
Let me just say this: I am not having anything removed. All right.
Having anything added to?
I refuse to comment.
All right. More than 2 years ago, drivers on I-15 in Weber County watched as a single-engine plane crashed onto the freeway. Remember that? Mm-hmm. 2 people aboard. Now, a newly released report from the National Transportation Safety Board is giving some insight, finally, into what happened. Oh, there were 4 people, caused 4 people to die in that crash. Witnesses told ABC4 at the time that the plane exploded into flames as soon as it hit the freeway. They said they could feel the heat from the explosion through their cars. Many people had to swerve to avoid fiery debris. The crash took the lives of Perry and Sarah Huffaker and Lane and Diana Clark, but the logbook showed 396 hours of flight experience, including 196 hours in the plane that crashed. So they should have known. I mean, they knew the plane well, but according to the report, less than 1 minute after the plane left the runway in Ogden, the pilot told control, "I'm going down 0 Whiskey Bravo." The report also revealed that mechanics who heard the plane take off said the sound was unusual, and they noticed that the engine sounded underpowered and that the tail of the airplane was moving up and down as the pilot was struggling to keep the airplane airborne. So they think it might have. So they're saying now the NTSB is saying there was probably a weight problem. They had too much weight on board, and it was above the maximum, and so that they think that's what contributed mainly to the crash of that plane 2 years ago. Gas prices are expected to go up because of this Saudi Arabian oil field being attacked. Analysts fear that the attacks, which heightened tensions in the region after the U.S. blamed Iran, could, as a matter of fact, push the price of crude oil up by $10 a barrel. That would translate to 22 cents per gallon at the pump. A barrel is currently trading at just over 60, but traders warned this could soar to 100 if Saudi Arabia fails to address the impact on supplies over the next few weeks. Motorists might see a hefty price rise at the gas pump. Purdue Pharma, you know who they are.
Yeah.
The main manufacturers of OxyContin, the drug which is widely seen as mainly contributing to the opioid crisis. Purdue Pharma has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, a move at the center of the company's efforts to shield itself and its owners from more than 2,600 federal and state lawsuits. The terms of the filing, which include a proposed resolution of most of the cases, were expected to be fiercely contested by a group of 26 states that have refused to settle with Purdue and are intent on pursuing the company's owners. That's the Sackler family, considered to be one of the wealthiest families in America.
Oh, but they're having trouble. They're going bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
No, they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't sue them anymore.
That's right.
And they're hiding their money other places.
Yeah, there's evidence of that.
A U.S. federal appeals court has revived a lawsuit against President Trump, which accuses the president of violating the emoluments clause of the Constitution. Politico reports that a panel of judges from the Second Circuit Court ruled 2-1 on Friday to restore the case after it had been dismissed by a lower court. The lawsuit was originally filed by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, and alleges on behalf of various hotel and restaurant owners that their business has been harmed by establishments owned by President Trump. The plaintiffs claim that the president is in violation of the Constitution's emoluments clause, according to Politico, which prohibits the president and other federal officials from receiving gifts or payments from foreign governments. You know, like Saudi Arabia owning a floor of Trump Tower.
Things like that.
Yeah, things like that. So if you like to play Monopoly, something is finally being done to reduce the gender pay gap at Monopoly.
I didn't know there was a gender pay gap. In general, the gender pay gap. Hasbro is debuting a new version of Monopoly to celebrate female empowerment, with women players able to make more money than men for the first time. As well as enabling female players to earn more money, Ms. Monopoly, as they're calling it, also marks the first time in the game's history when a new mascot will be featured on the cover of the game. Ms. Monopoly is a fun new take on the game that creates a world where women have an advantage often enjoyed by men. So it's a kind of a fictitious thing that they've built here. It's a fantasy that they're building here. If men play their cards right, they can make more money too, though, the statement continued. In this version of the game, women will collect 240 Monopoly dollars when they pass go, while men will still just collect the usual 200. So it's kind of reparations, I guess. It's reparations. But the pay gap begins even before players make a move around the board, with the banker doling out $1,900 in Monopoly money to each female player and $1,500 to each male player. This is kind of condescending, isn't it? Well, I was going to say, that's like handicapping the women, like saying,
well, we know
you need a little extra help. It should be level playing field.
Well, if you can argue it the other way, too, that you need extra help because you've been put down so long.
I don't need any extra help.
You've been... What?
Anytime I've ever been beaten in Monopoly, it's always been by a woman.
Saying it should be... You shouldn't tell women they need extra help. It's... You just...
That's why you just
even it out.
That's why you don't buy this. You just buy regular Monopoly.
Yeah. Well, if evening it out is extra help, isn't it?
No.
No, it's.
I mean, it is. If you say, well, we're going to end any of that. I mean, you know, it's so endemic that it's impossible to do. I don't see any problem. Let's say it was real. If it's real, and let's say, you know, because women have been held down so long economically in the job, let's give them more money to make up for it. That's kind of what that's the other side of the argument. Let's give them more money to make up for the past injustices. That's that argument.
All right. Sports, weather, traffic.
Brought to you by Invest in You with visual freedom from glasses or contacts. Visit Weight Vision in Lehigh or weightvision.com. That's WAITE vision.com. Well, Mike Pence, he's a liar.
Yeah. Sports?
American Pharaoh, you know, one of my favorite athletes.
Oh.
Triple Crown winner, American Pharaoh, lives a pampered life, mating, eating, hanging out.
I don't call what they do with those mating, but
Coolamore's Ashford Stud Farm in Versailles, Kentucky. And he also enjoys visits from dignitaries, like Vice President Mike Pence, who visited the horse farm in March of 2018. Now, this has come up because Mike Pence has brought it up recently.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike Pence claims that American Pharoah bit him hard on the arm, so hard that he nearly collapsed. Now,
the horse or Mike Pence?
Mike Pence.
Okay.
Because he brought it up recently as a metaphor for Republicans' hopes for retaking the House next year. Quote, in our line of work, you're going to get bit sometimes, but you keep fighting forward. And he says, this happened to me, and the barn manager said,
he said that the horse didn't bite him?
He may have nudged him, but he certainly didn't bite him.
So Pence has been hanging around Trump so much that they just lie about everything?
Also a yearling filly. So a girl horse that came from American Pharoah just sold, before it's done anything, it's a baby horse, $8.2 million on Wednesday.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, I think it's probably Versailles, Kentucky.
It's not Versailles?
I think it's probably Versailles.
If it's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Weather, it's going to be windy this afternoon, quite windy in some places, could get gusts up to 50 miles an hour, and very warm, upper 80s for a high, but we're going to start coming down out of the 80s later this week and probably won't get back up there. We'll probably stay in the 60s and 70s, but today quite warm and windy, slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon into the evening. Traffic, let's see what we have here, because UDOT has not been updating me. If I look at the UDOT camera, looks like we've got pretty good flow. I don't see any red on the cameras there, so no serious accidents, and no one sent anything other than, somebody says eastbound 215 at the I-15 merger is a parking lot. So thank you for sending that in. They did that via text at 33986.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. Well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with your mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it. A California man has been arrested for allegedly making false threats against the Los Angeles County Fair just to avoid going there with his parents.
Wow.
Authorities said that the Los Angeles County Fair notified them that it had received an email Friday at about 3 p.m. stating that there would be a mass shooting on the site on Sunday. The Pomona Police Department said that they and the FBI immediately launched an investigation into the email and tracked it to one Eric Villasenor of Slimar, I think it is, California. Police had a tactical team arrived at his home and arrested him. Police said they arrested the 22-year-old man for making a false threat against the Los Angeles County Fair. We learned of the threat, but Mr. Whatever his name is, Mr. Villasenor told us, yeah, I made it up. I didn't want to go to the fair with my mom and dad.
Well, you can just not go to the fair.
They're insistent.
It's okay.
Boner candidate number 3. And I understand you don't want to go to the fair with your mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it.
Well, what else would you have him do?
Jeez, I don't know.
Talk to them about it? All right, let's review the first 2 and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. So are they slowing down? I can't tell. It's a Montana woman using her hairdryer thinking that she might be deterring
I love this
speeders. Okay, sure. She's got a solo cup in her other hand. Boner, I think she's a rummy is what she is. Boner candidate number 2, please bring Indy back. Family pleading for the return of of their son's companion animal, their son who has severe cerebral palsy. And boner candidate number 3, well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with your mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it.
All right. Here you go. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it'll secure a spot in Boner Dome and go up against the winner of round 1's voting. We did that an hour ago. We'll take them both And you'll decide at 9:20 this morning. That's when Boner Fight happens, and you'll decide Boner of the Day at that time. Right now, you are picking the champion for round 2. So here we go. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win this round. Put that number, that single digit, in the message of a text. And then text that to 33986. Pretty easy. Or you can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting September 16, 2019, and vote there. Pretty easy to do. All right, we got Geek News coming up after we award the Boner for round 2. You've got less than 300 seconds to vote. Let's go. This is round 2. toward round 2 of your boners.
And that's brought to you in part by Gazpacho.
And looking for a stress-free place for your private or corporate party? Fat Cats is the perfect place for events with amazing food, bowling, mini golf, arcade. Visit the new Fat Cats in Saratoga Springs with a luxury theater, bowling, arcade, and more. Book your party at fatcatsfun.com.
We had boner candidate number 1. So are they slowing down? I can't tell. Montana woman using her hairdryer to deter speeding drivers. Boner candidate number 2, please bring Indy back. The Utah family pleading for the return of their son's companion animal, their son who's severely disabled with cerebral palsy. And boner candidate number 3, well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it. Kid who sent a false mass shooting warning to the Los Angeles County Fair officials because he's supposed to go to the fair with his mom and dad on Sunday afternoon. Well, that's when he said there's going to be a mass shooting. Yeah. Let's see. Liv won a Fat Cats gift card, and the winner, boner candidate number 3. Well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it.
All right, there you go. That is the winner of round 2. We now have our contestants to fight over who is boner of the day. Boner fight happens at 9:20. We take the winner of each of our rounds and stick them into Boner Dome. You'll decide here in about a half hour from now, so stand by for that. Sponsored.
Yes, our friends at Cabin Fever love lava lamps. Check out the new designs ranging from 11.5 to 27 inches. Quirky lunchboxes, classic vintage toys, rubber ducks, books, gift wrap, best selection of irreverent cards in the city. Cabin Fever, located in Trolley Square.
All right, brand new episode of GeekShowPodcast.com available now. This was the episode that we recorded live at Gracie's on the 7th, right after Fan X. And features our special dear friend and returning champion, Jay Washington, joins us, and we play a matching type game.
Not match game.
Well, you can't call it that.
Oh.
You can't?
I don't think.
Okay.
And we play a couple of other games as well. All right. If you're a Jurassic World fan, Jurassic Park fan, there is a short film that the director, Colin Trevorrow, put together because we're getting Jurassic World 3 coming soon. And this is a short film that he has made to kind of
teaser?
A teaser. It's I wouldn't call it an extended trailer because it's its own story. But it gives you an idea of what he's going to do with the sequel because, as you know, in the last Jurassic World, the island was destroyed.
And the animals leave on a boat.
Yeah.
Some of them, anyway.
Some of them do.
Like the Ark.
Yeah. And they made it to America.
Oh.
So imagine camping in your trailer, and there's an Allosaurus outside. Yeah.
Oh.
But the kid won't shut up. And here it comes.
Well, throw the Allosaurus the kid.
But it's a great little short film. So
these are different characters. These are not stars or anything.
These are not the stars. But it gives you an idea of the place that we're in when the next movie will start. So go to YouTube and look for Battle at Big Rock, Jurassic World, and it's like 5 or 6 minutes. You can sit and watch it. It's entertaining and scary. And I got mad when the baby dinosaur almost got eaten, but luckily that I was telling you now, don't worry about the baby dinosaur. He's fine.
See, now you're distracting me. I'm going to go watch that.
I know, I'm distracting you. Here's something else that you should go and take a look at. Something that I'm excited about is we got a final trailer for Watchmen, the TV series on HBO.
They're driven by trauma. They're obsessed with justice because of some injustice they suffered. Ergo, the mask. It hides the pain.
I wear the mask to protect myself.
Right, from the pain.
So this is an HBO series. It takes place 10 years after the comic book
You gonna give me the speech now?
or the movie. And the makers of the series say that you will be able to just jump right in and watch. You won't have to know any backstory. They'll explain everything. I would suggest you maybe see the movie at least, frankly.
When does
because
it start?
Starts in October. October 20th is when that begins. But it's just a great, it looks like a great looking show. So
That is correct. I want my lawyer. Yeah.
Anybody we know in it?
The person playing Ozymandias, you got Gene Smart. I know you like Gene Smart.
I do.
Gene Smart's in it. You got Don Johnson, Judd Crawford, Regina King, Tim Blake Nelson, and Louis Gossett Jr. And I keep forgetting the actor's name who's playing Ozymandias, very famous British actor. But it's going to be a very interesting series from the comic book / movie. All right, last week we told you that the Hawkeye TV series, which I'm the only person excited about.
Is this the one where he works as a janitor?
No, he runs, he owns and manages.
Property manager.
He's a property manager.
Oh, I thought he was a janitor.
Because what does he do when he's not in the Avengers?
Well, he's got to make a living somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll send up the super to fix your plumbing.
And they have cast as his protege, Hawkeye's protege. What is her name now? I forgot.
Oh, it's Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, that's it. She's going to be playing protege. Well, now they've announced the person behind the show. Marvel series being developed for the Disney Plus tapped Jonathan Igla to act as writer and executive producer. You have not heard his name, but he's got a resume. He sort of started as a writer and executive story editor on Mad Men, and has gone on to do a lot of very interesting stuff. So there's your
I like Mad Men.
show writer and producer. Might give you an idea of kind of the low-key direction that they're going to be taking it. Major Matt Mason. That's a toy.
Okay.
From the 60s, mid-60s. It's like a G.I. Joe.
All right.
But he was he was a spaceman.
Okay.
Tom Hanks has been trying to get, because he loves Major Matt Mason, he has been trying to get a Major Matt Mason project of some kind put together for years.
I would think Tom Hanks could get anything made.
You'd think. Back in 2009, he was working on a 3D animated series take on the character with Graham Yost, and he was going to voice the character. He just loves Major Matt Mason. He's been trying and trying and trying. Well, finally, Major Matt Mason, they've got a script, and they're ready to go forward.
Okay.
It's just Tom Hanks likes spacemen. And I think that's a passion project for him. It, Chapter 2, out in theaters, doing extremely well. But the director, Andy Muschietti, is quite serious because this movie is apparently pretty long. It's like 3 hours.
240 or
240?
Something like that.
Well, that's not enough for Andy Muschietti. He says that there's a lot of stuff that we cut out, and I want to put it back in there, and it'll make it like 3.5 hours long. But
Who has that time?
But then he's not even done with that. He said, we're in talks with the studio to make a supercut, which is the 2 movies edited together.
Wow.
With
Nice.
all the material that is in the not released versions. And yeah, there's some scenes that I want to shoot to make it a new experience. So it's a big old, like they did with,
It's an event.
like they do with The Godfather
Yeah.
sometimes. They run them in chronological order. So he wants to do a supercut of it.
Don't I remember that that Coppola actually made a Godfather, like a big long one out of the 3 of them?
He might have.
And it was for TV only or something like that?
I know that's what they do sometimes in like USA Network or something like that. I can't remember. I've seen it.
Crash northbound Bangor Highway 98 South in West Jordan. The right lane and shoulder are blocked, causing delays toward 104th South. And all of my traffic tipsters have gone away. That's the only traffic I have for you. I hope that's all you're dealing with right now. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Boner Fight is on the way. Let's see. Utah Advocates.
Yeah, the advocates are personal injury attorneys. If you've been hurt in an accident, or this could be medical malpractice, if you've got a grievance against some medical treatment that you received that you think you might need compensation for, the advocates are who you could call.
Don't deal with the insurance company on your own. Just hand everything over to the advocates. The sooner the better.
When you call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 801-355-5550, you get the advocates on the line. You will get an attorney on the line, and they can generally tell you on the phone whether they think you have a case or not. And if they do think you have a case, they'll invite you into the office, and you'll proceed from there. And the advocates won't charge you any money unless they take your case and get you a settlement. So 801-355-5550. That's the phone number. If you're uncomfortable talking to them on the phone, there's a live chat feature at their website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, UtahAdvocates.com.
Technology.
was, well, you know.
Ric Ocasek.
Ocasek.
Yeah, Ocasek. Everybody says Ocasek, and then in the New York Times today it said it's Ocasek.
Ocasek.
Found dead at his, of the cars, found dead at his apartment or townhouse in Manhattan.
It's always curious. Like, the details are curious. Like, found dead by his estranged wife. If your wife is estranged, you would think there would be other people that would be more likely to find you than your estranged wife.
That doesn't mean that you're not still in contact, and it just means you're not divorced.
And maybe they parted on decent circumstances.
But you would still think there would be somebody else. Like, if you're estranged, you're not close.
Well, she's trying to get. He's there alone. Lives there alone.
She's checking on
trying
him.
to, she's trying to get a hold of him. She's not being able to get a hold of him.
She needs to get her stuff.
Now she's worried. So then she goes over there, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's not strange at all. It's just how
it's strange.
It's just how life ends.
Yeah. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
Yeah. I was it's just so irritating to me when this happens. So I have these little cards that I'll write things down on if I don't have a notebook or so rather than use my phone, usually I'll write people's phone numbers down on a piece of paper on the card, and then I'll transfer it to my phone later because I'm not really that adept at texting. I can do it, but I'm better.
Prefer to write
I prefer if I write it down, and then I'll look at it, and then I won't transpose the numbers or whatever. But it's so irritating. I'll go through my cards, and I came across one yesterday, only one name and one phone number written on it. And I have no idea who it is or why.
Just a first name?
No, it's first and last name. And it's not my handwriting. I obviously handed it to the person that said, well, here, write your name and number down.
But you don't know.
And then we'll
call him and say, why do I have your number?
I know, but that just seems so, such a slackerly thing to do. Like,
I found your number in my...
And I've got to be smarter about this, and when they write their name and number down, make a little note quickly, or just at least, I'm sure I would have remembered later that day, but I don't know, I don't even know how long ago it was. Probably 2 weeks ago or something. It just...
I've done that too, and I've been tempted to call the number.
Yeah, but it's too embarrassing.
Oh, I had this number here. Oh, you just call random numbers, do you?
Or hey, Frank, I have your number here, and I can't remember what it was.
This is Steve.
Oh, well, where's Frank? This is the number I had for Frank.
Well, no, it's Steve. Remember, I gave you my number.
Well... Oh, I must have written it down.
Remember you asked me? You said you really wanted my number?
Yeah, but what is it that we were going to talk about? That'd work okay, I guess. Just call the number and say, when the person says hello, you say, hi, who's this?
See, but I'll do that on my phone, like on my calendar. I'll just put like initials on a day, like...
Yeah, that's...
Thinking I'll remember what they stand for, and I'll look at it and go... Something with the initials TC is happening at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, and I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, again, I don't. I'll write stuff down on a piece of paper, and then within an hour, I'll make sure it gets on the calendar. But don't do that, Gina. Don't do it ever again. No more.
I know.
No more initials, and I will never again take somebody's name and phone number without them. There's nothing probably wrong even to saying to them at the time. And make a little note about what we're going to talk about, or what we need to discuss, and just say because I'll likely forget. That's why I'm getting this information. And it's always when you're doing something else that people want to talk to you. You're emceeing something. That's probably what happened. I was doing an MC thing.
Here, just write it down.
And they said, here. Well, I said, okay, I can talk to you about that at another time. Write your name and phone number down. And they did. I just remembered what it was. I think.
Did you talk yourself into remembering?
I might have. Now I'll have to look at it again to see if I'm right. I hope it's what I think it is.
And Corey points out that the TC that Gina was referring to was tacos and cocktails.
Oh, that's right, on Tuesday.
Or is it trivia and cocaine?
I don't know.
They're not sure. All right. We will take a break. We will be back. Boater fight is coming up. A reasonable amount of news before that. ZeroRes.com.
They've invented a new word, you know.
What's that?
Zero-resified.
I've had them zero-resify my house.
Zero Res will come to your house and zero-resify it. They'll use their powered water cleaning system that dissolves oil. It removes dirt, leaves no dirt residue, attracting residue behind. Zero Res. That's why they call it that, isn't it?
I mean, the analogy they use is imagine washing your hair, like shampooing it, and then not rinsing the shampoo out of your hair. Think of how dirty it would feel.
Yeah.
That's what happens when the people that clean carpets with detergents.
And it would take a long time to dry as well.
Yeah, they don't have that.
So Zero Res, right now, if you call them, mention X96 when you do, Radio from Hell, you'll pay just $33 per room, pre-treated, cleaned, and zero-resified. So the phone number for Zero Res, 801-2880, Z-E-R-O, 2880, or go to zerores.com for more.
All right, remember that info. You're going to need it for Boner Fight to determine who is Boner of the Day. We'll do that here in about 6 or 7 minutes. So before that, a reasonable amount of news brought to you by.
When it comes to mortgage lending, call Rick at Vintage Lending. Where else are you going to go? 16 years experience. Call Rick, 801-809-SAVE or loansbyrick.com.
Well, I don't know if you've tried it. You might remember Markle Sparkle.
Markle Sparkle.
Well, that's the marijuana that was inspired by the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle.
I have not tried it.
Markle Sparkle. Meghan Markle's pot-growing nephew.
She has a pot-growing nephew.
Oh, of course she does. She's an American. Now says the brand has made him so rich, he's hoping to cash in with another royally branded hybrid pot strain. Everyone's calling this one Archie Sparky, after Markle and Prince Harry's new royal baby, Archie. Archie Sparky doesn't quite have the ring that Markle Sparkle does, but Markle Sparkle made headlines and made me a lot of money, said her nephew Tyler Dooley. Not surprisingly, neither brand has the Queen's seal of approval. Dooley is the son of Markle's half-brother Thomas. Dooley and his side of the family are estranged from the royal family and were not invited to the wedding. His new pot strain is named after the royal couple's baby Archie, who was born on May 6th.
I feel like you should name pot strains after babies.
Dooley told the newspaper his
seems wrong.
Oregon ranch, where he operates his cannabis business, Blue Line Hemp, is set to expand from 1,000 to 2,600 acres. And again, that's in Oregon, Gina, where you're going to have a Christmas tree farm.
I don't know why you said it like that. Christmas tree farm.
Christmas tree farm. He also claimed that he's raking in the dough, thanks in part to his aunt's name recognition, with the expected revenue of up to $200 million a year. I don't know if you can make that much from Christmas trees.
It's just a Christmas tree.
Apparently, the soil's very good for all kinds of growing.
Yes, including Christmas trees.
I don't know of anyone who smokes Christmas trees.
I don't want them to smoke them.
Okay. Let's see. Bobby Ann Campbell was last seen 2 days after Christmas in 1994. Her daughter says she left to buy groceries and never came back. Stephanie Farrell has searched for answers for decades and now thinks she could be getting closer to the truth. But the truth may not bring much comfort. If she is in the Jordan River, her friends threw her out like trash and kept it a secret from me all this time, she said. That's not easy, but that's what her daughter suspects. Farrell says a former friend of her mother's recently came forward with a story that she had died of a drug overdose and that someone wrapped her up in a carpet and tossed her into the river. Campbell's vehicle was found near the Jordan River. The keys missing, together with, and again, this is way back in 1994, together with private investigator Jason Jensen, Farrell coordinated a team of volunteer divers on Sunday who searched the Jordan River. The group produced a piece of fabric that they believe could be the reported carpet, as well as a unique earring that the family says resembles something that Campbell wore before her death. An earlier magnet fishing expedition, have you seen people do this? In the area, produced a set of keys, and one of the keys did in fact belong to a General Motors vehicle. That could have been her vehicle, the family says. Police were notified of new potential witness testimony, but Farrell says that when the police interviewed the woman, she changed her story again. Police were not present Sunday for the diving mission. They're doing this on their own. Fascinating.
It's so hard to not know.
Yeah.
You just want to know.
Fascinating to think that they might finally find the closure doing that on themselves. The happiest place in the nation.
Disneyland.
Nope.
What?
No, not at all. This is according to Wallet Hub does these kinds of surveys and things. It's not Disneyland. The report ranked Hawaii as the happiest place in the country.
Sure.
Over all of the other 50 states.
Sure.
In the categories range from emotional health to income level.
Oh, so this is to live there then.
Oh, okay.
Below is a list of
I'd be scared to live in Hawaii.
This is a list of the categories for happiness with Hawaii's rankings. Of course you would.
Why would you be?
Because it's an island.
Yes,
I like options.
Options.
You have options. You can get on a boat or a plane and
No,
go somewhere
I can't
else.
drive anywhere though. I can't hop in a car and drive to another state.
You can't hop in a car and drive you can't hop in a car and drive to Europe either.
You can drive to the other side of the island.
Yeah, but that's there's only so many things there. What if I want other things?
Like what? You're living in Hawaii.
You're arguing with someone who is suffering from obvious brain damage here.
I like options.
You're living in a place that's practically paradise. I don't understand.
So the numbers ranging from 1 equaling happiest to 25 equaling average. Number one, percentage of depressed adults. So they had the least depressed adults essentially.
Yeah, you can afford to live in Hawaii.
Where you can't go anywhere because you're trapped, and you might feel like.
Yeah.
What if I want to drive to snow?
I
don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand.
They do say that some people suffer from island fever.
I would have that.
Of course you would, because it's irrational. It's totally irrational.
It's not irrational. I can't drive anywhere. That's not irrational. I can only.
Yes, that's irrational. I can't drive anywhere.
That's a fact.
I've driven a lot in Hawaii. Okay.
Yeah, don't bother arguing with her about it. It just, and you could spend Christmas at Hogwarts, and you could stay in Hagrid's hut.
Oh.
For just $1.
What?
Only $1?
It sounds like a trap to me.
North Shore, a farm in the town of Saltburn by the Sea, England, is home to a charming guest house called Groundskeeper's Cottage, a squat stone house designed to look remarkably like Hagrid's hut in the Harry Potter movies.
Not actually.
This fall, the farm is hosting a competition where wizards and muggles can enter to win a week-long stay in this realistic replica over the Christmas holidays. All you have to do is pay the $1 entry fee and wait for the magic to happen. It's normally $364.48 a night, but the cottage is composed of 3 rooms, sleeps up to 4 adults, 2 children. The entire space is decorated to look like Hagrid's home. He is, of course, keeper of the keys and grounds at Hogwarts.
That sounds sketchy.
Well, he didn't have dragons living in there with him, did he?
He had a baby dragon.
Didn't he have a hellhound? Like a 3-headed
Fluffy.
hound? Wasn't that his?
Well, yeah, but Fluffy lived in he was guarding the...
Fluffy, that's what he would call him, Fluffy.
He was guarding the what?
The thing.
The trap door that went into the thing.
He was guarding the thing from the stuff, Carrie.
All right.
But music puts him to sleep.
It still sounds sketchy to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
$1?
Sounds pretty.
To get in, just $1?
No, it's to get into the drawing. And the grand prize is you get to stay there for 3 nights or something like that. And then a second place winner will also receive a 3-day stay in the hut. Oh, so the first place is you have to stay there a week.
Have to.
Second place, you only have to stay three nights, and yeah.
I'm having the same contest, except it's with a windowless van.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's only $1.
Yeah.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
Okay, here you go. The winner from round 1 in the 7 o'clock hour, going up against number 2 from the 8 o'clock hour. Each of these bested 2 other contestants or 2 other contenders in the Boner Fight, and now they're going to duke it out with each other. The first one, you'll need a lot more than 15 gallons of holy water, that is. Priests throwing holy water from a plane in Russia to cure the city of fornication and drunkenness. I think that they would, to do that properly, they would need enough holy water to drown everyone. That's going up against number 2. Well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it. A 22-year-old man sending a mass shooting warning to the Los Angeles County Fair, saying somebody's going to be shooting up the fair, and this was coincidentally at the time he was supposed to be going there with his mother and father. He was hoping they would shut the fair down, but they didn't.
All right, there you go. You've got to decide of these 2 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to be boner of the day. 1 or 2. Remember your candidate number. Put that number in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. That's one way you can vote. You can call 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go online, look for the box that says Boner Fight September 16, 2019, and vote there. If you don't see that box, refresh. It should appear. You've got less than 300 seconds to do it. Let's go. This is Boner of the Day. All right. 23andme.com/X96. We ask you to do the /X96 to make sure that we get the credit for it. We appreciate that. And DNA, it's, everybody's excited to find out, I'm from this place. My descendants are, that's fun and everything. But 23andMe is taking it a step further with the Health Ancestry Kit. You can learn how your genes can affect your health. And it is a lot to take in. You'll spend, like I have, you'll spend a lot of time on that website just going through all of this information. But once you know more, you can take action now to stay healthy. You can discover the right personal health plan with the right data. Your health reports can give you insights about your DNA, so you can build a health plan that is unique to you, and you can understand your genetic predisposition for all kinds of things like type 2 diabetes, harmful blood clots, inherited high cholesterol, or hereditary breast and ovarian cancer. It just kind of gives you some insight. 23andMe reports do not diagnose disease or describe overall likelihood of developing any disease. 23andMe tests selected genetic variants only. Visit 23andMe.com/X96 for important test information. So get on it. Order your Health Ancestry Kit at 23andme.com/X96, and you can meet your genes in 125 personalized genetic reports. That's the number 23andme.com/X96. It's time to award Boner of the Day.
Which is brought to you in part by some gazpacho and some garlic shrimp and patatas bravas and a little manchego cheese and some bread. It was a tapas feast.
A feast.
Yep.
And Tim Daly, now home of the forever warranty on all new and select pre-owned vehicles. As long as you own the vehicle, it's under warranty. See dealer for details.
Make no mistake. So we had boner candidate number 1, which was, well, you'll need a lot more than 15 gallons of holy water. Priest throwing holy water out of a plane in Russia to cure the city of fornication and drunkenness. They thought 15 gallons would do it. Nah. Going against number 2, well, I understand that you don't want to go to the fair without your mom and dad, but this isn't the way to avoid it. A 22-year-old man sending a false mass shooting warning to the Los Angeles County Fair because he didn't want to go to the fair with his mom and dad. It's the only way he could think of.
I can't think of another way out of it.
No. And the winner, boner candidate number 2. Well, I understand you don't want to go to the fair with mom and dad, but this is the way to avoid it.
All right. It's your Boner of the Day for September 16, 2019. It is now qualified to be Boner of the Week.
It's Matt Gephardt.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm better than I deserve. How are you?
Well, it's the same, probably. You're looking good. I haven't seen you for a while.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Matt is
you as well.
Is a very in-demand investigative reporter at Channel 2. Is that what you call yourself, an investigative reporter?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because I've had hoarding in my family.
Yeah.
You're doing, it says trash house interview, but
yeah,
you're interviewing some hoarders. Or
well, and really, what can you do about it? If we've all had the neighbors who maybe let their properties get a little run down, but what can you do?
I'm sorry to
about
my
it?
neighbors, by the way.
Well, yeah, and tonight we'll take you to tonight on Tunes at 10. We'll take you to this one kind of group of properties here in Salt Lake City, just west of the University of Utah, where they've got some issues. They're hoarding stuff, and it's not being hoarded in their home. They're hoarding it all over their lawns. It's just big piles. People who live in Salt Lake City have probably seen this.
I know exactly where it is. Yeah.
Second South and up there.
Yeah.
And it's just these huge piles and piles and piles of debris. And I can tell you, as someone who went to the door to talk to the owner for a few minutes, what turned into about an hour, it's the smell, the vermin, the cats, the overrun, the feral stuff.
I must say it looks like they're well constructed piles.
they are stacked. They are stacked neatly. Yeah.
But piles of what looks to be from the street garbage mostly.
It mostly is garbage. It's everything you can imagine. We spoke to a number of the neighbors over there who said, that these people will come and kind of raid their trash bins and then just start saving.
So it's not
stuff.
just one person; it's a bunch of people that are.
It's there are a number of people who kind of live there. They made the news. This set of properties made the news several months ago because there were some altercations between some homeless people who were just kind of living in the front yard and attacked a guy with a hammer. So but then the question is, okay, so this is a problem and there's some issues here. So what can you do about it? So clearly this isn't okay. And it's been going on as long as I've lived in Utah. I went to the U. I saw this thing back when I lived there, and and so what can you do? And of course, this is against the law. There are all kinds of rules about what you have to do.
Okay, so I would think I would call the cops first, right?
You'd call the cops or the city code enforcement or whatever.
Yeah.
So people are doing that, and we got the call because they're like, "Hey, we keep calling the city, and it's not getting done. Like this pile has been here. It's been here for 3 years now."
Seems to me it was about 3 years ago. I remember somebody must have made them do something because it got all cleared out at one point. And now it's back worse than ever.
And it's been, we found, through court records and stuff, it actually goes way back beyond that. So actually really about 30 years now of them coming in. But they don't come in every, month or 2 months or whatever. They're coming in like every 5 years or so and actually force them to clean it up. So what can you do as Joe's citizen? I'm the neighbor. There's a law in the books that says if, you have a bunch of stuff in your front yard and it's making it so I can't enjoy my property, I can sue you. So what are the kinds of things that you can do as a neighbor to kind of force the equation? And is the city doing enough?
It's hard because sometimes it's things that you don't like that your neighbor is doing, but it's really to most eyes not that bad. It's just I don't keep my yard as neat as you do. I don't mow the lawn.
I have neighbors that their lawn's totally dead and there's weeds in it.
And you just go, well, okay.
Yep. Trash cans get left out a day or two.
Yeah,
too many.
And that's just to be expected. It may irritate you, but you shouldn't let that go
But this is-
but this is just way.
No, this is yeah.
I think of it as, and we were talking about this off the air, like mice and rats and things. If you keep your yard that way, rats don't know where a property line is. If you're attracting a bunch,
better learn.
Trespassers.
If they're attracting a bunch, then that puts my property. It's not just aesthetics at that point. It's
the stench,
yeah.
and so we actually interviewed the next door neighbors as part of this.
It must be awful.
Well, they have chicken wire out all over their entire front yard just to keep the rodents and because cats kind of don't like walking on chicken wire. Apparently, I didn't know that, but apparently, so they literally have chicken wire all over their whole front yard just to try to keep the smell at least one property to the west.
Jeez.
And how would you sell that house? Like, say you were that neighbor, the next door neighbor. Who's going to buy your house?
So these people moved in right after that cleanup 3 years ago.
Oh,
and
they
so
probably
they had
never
no
would've-
idea.
yeah.
And all of a sudden it's piling up and they're going, well, and they don't want to move. They're, we want to live here. This is, kind of that nice, coveted part of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So when you do this report on Channel 2 tonight,
yes,
10 o'clock,
yes,
do you come to some sort of conclusions on this? And
we get some answers.
Okay.
It's one of those ones where I will tell you what can be done and what can't be done and the reason this thing exists.
Okay.
And so we get some answers as far as conclusion goes. You're dealing with some issues. I'm not a psychologist, but you're dealing with some issues there that are certainly not solvable by a reporter. And then there are things that can be done that are not being done. And we'll look into those and, hey, city, why aren't these things being done that you could do and maybe force the equation more?
That I think is going to be helpful. And I just if it were me running the city, I would say I'm sending people up there once a month, and if it is not taken care of, we condemn the properties.
And
that's what I would say.
I think a lot of people would say that, and I think city officials would push back and say, I don't get to just come on your property and do whatever I want whenever I want. There's a whole process in place.
Then do the process.
Yes,
I'm just afraid that crazy person won't vote for me.
There you go. Everyone's a constituent. It's an election year.
That's
yeah.
right.
So.
All right, Matt Gephardt tonight, Channel 2, 10 o'clock. What can you do about if you live near hoarders and people who are doing that kind of stuff? You can find out more tonight.
I love the show, guys. Thanks for having me in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's going to be interesting. We'll see you tonight. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Everest Collision Repair.
Yes, indeed. If you get your car banged up, that's who you want to take it to. Everest Collision Repair. They will make it look like new, I promise you.
Yeah.
Everest Collision Repair, like my CRV got smashed up, and it now looks great. My CRV got the side of it kind of crunched in. They fixed it. It looks great.
But you don't have to be in an accident either. You could just be like, we've had our truck for 12 years or something. And Joe the other day was saying, I think I want to take the truck in just to get a little once over, dings, dents, scratches, little paint fixes.
Like if you're selling the car, that'd be a good idea.
When you take your damaged vehicle to Everest, you bring in a donation for the Utah Food Bank or the Road Home. Everest will pay up to $200 of your repairs. Jamie Cox and his crew are doing a great job. If you want to find out the locations exactly where they are, Sandy, Salt Lake, and Tooele, go to everestcollisionrepair.com.
Technology.
That was appropriate, I thought. Hey, I was just looking at our promo here, and we're going to be talking tomorrow about the Equality Utah Allies Gala.
Oh yeah,
And
Billy Porter.
Yeah, and not only Billy Porter. He was one of the stars, Emmy-nominated star of Pose. So Billy Porter will be at the gala to perform. But also, I was looking here, and this really makes me remember something that I forgot to do. One of the honorees of the gala will be Carol Lynn Pearson. You know who that is? No, Latter-day Saint poet and playwright whose work has always approached LGBTQ issues with love and compassion. She's been very controversial in the LDS Church, of course, and I don't remember if she was. But at any rate, she sent us an email a long time ago, which I didn't follow up on. But I think she lives in San Francisco, and she said she was getting some award and mentioned it, and then said, "And I just want you to know that I've always loved your show."
Well, that's nice.
And I just thought, and I kept meaning to get back to her. I mean, she's pretty well known.
Well, we ought to have her on the show if she's in town.
Yeah, I think so.
Return the email. And
I'm sure I've still got it here somewhere. I'll find it. But that's going to be really nice. It's going to be in October, I believe. Carol Lynn Pearson and Billy Porter. And if you've ever been to one of those, they're fun.
It's a party.
I have been,
yeah. And the food was actually pretty good. Especially when the one I've been to two, when I remember going to one, there must have been, 2,000 people there?
Oh, yeah,
they
packed the place.
Huge, huge number of people, all sitting down to have a meal and then a program. The one I went to, Tyler Glenn was the honoree, and then he sang a song or two, and he did just an amazingly wonderful speech about his growing up and his family and yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of fun, I got a list here, just sent to me.
Brand new list.
Is this things we should have been doing?
No, this is the 2019's most fun cities in America, and I'm sure that we're in the top 20. I'm sure Salt Lake City is
most fun.
Let's see.
I'll bet it's in there somewhere. Come on. No.
Sorry.
Well, what's number one?
Well, I think it's a fun city.
Well, can you guess?
Most fun
city.
Las Vegas.
It's number one. Yes. No, we didn't.
We didn't really need to do that.
We didn't make that.
Yeah, but oddly enough, Fort Hall, Idaho is number 2.
Damnedest thing. I don't understand. I mean, surely we're more fun than... Well, I don't know. These are pretty fun cities. All these cities.
New Orleans is number 2, right?
New Orleans is on the list, number 12. Yeah, we're not beating most of these cities.
Come on. Find one that we might be. Maybe.
No. St.
We're
Louis?
plenty fun.
Oh, we got to be more fun than St. Louis.
Are we more fun than St. Louis? Because they're number 18.
They're more murdery than we are.
Yeah, way more. Maybe that's part of the fun.
No.
Just go to St. Louis and murder at will.
No.
I mean, it's so hot in Atlanta. I don't know how you get number 6 for Atlanta.
Yeah,
we're
muggy.
not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not on the list. I'm sorry.
Oh,
we tried.
Maybe we're just hovering outside the top 20.
Wait, you think
20.
we're 21? Do you think that's what it is?
Maybe.
They only sent me the top 20?
Yeah, maybe.
I wish they'd send me the opposite list, the not fun cities, to see how
the least fun cities.
That's coming. Who did this fun cities list?
Let's see. This is Wallet Hub.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Wallet Hub again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I mean, they give all the reasons, I mean, New York has the most restaurants per square foot.
Sure.
San Francisco and Boston, walkable park access.
Well, that's fun.
New York, playgrounds. San Francisco, dance clubs.
Yes.
Oklahoma City, average beer price per six-pack is.
City?
Oh, fun.
Port St. Lucie, Florida has the lowest movie cost.
I've been there. It's fun.
So all that,
we don't fit in there.
I
anyway.
have plenty of fun here.
I
couldn't handle any more fun.
Really? Going to soccer and dance and soccer, volleyball and soccer and dance and that sounds great.
I can't have any more fun.
No,
Yeah, Tana, the photographer who is in St. Louis right now, says, no, I'm sorry, you're not more fun than St. Louis.
What?
Okay. All right. We'll make it someday. I don't think we'll make it someday.
No.
Get the feeling. All right.
It's all right.
Well, let's do the promo and get out of here.
Here we go. We know it's the beginning of the week, but Radio from Hell is not only here to help, we're here to stay.
On Tuesday's Radio from Hell show at 7 a.m., LeVar and LeGrand will be here to give us another word out of the Utah language.
Then at 7:45 a.m., we'll be doing the X poll. We want to know, what was your plan A and what was your plan B for your career?
And at 9:30, we'll be talking about the Equality Utah Allies Gala.
But as always, there will be more for Tuesday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
All right.
How's that working out for us?
I don't know. Did we get all the business taken care of?
Yes.
Let me see.
Got everything?
Check Equality Utah.
I've got everything marked off here.
Okay.
I didn't write down a sign-off today. Was there a...
There was nothing really particularly memorable.
Isn't that terrible? Do you know what it's going to have to be?
What? I know what it is.
Okay, well. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Stay care.
Okay. Let's see. Corey is next. I think it's Corey. I don't know. Because Todd's out of town.
Oh, things kind of move around.
Yeah, everything moves around. I haven't seen anybody, so I don't know.
Kicking off.